Well, hi everybody. Welcome to Beyond the Box. Where did Suzy go?
I looked up and seen us. That's right.
Look, everybody. We here in Texas, we have been going through some really bad storms, some really bad stuff going on. I've spent the last 2 or 3 days not getting any sleep. Um, I the tornado warning pole sits not that far from where I'm at, so Putin does not like those things. So between that, the thunder and lightning, the hail hitting the house, like it sounds like somebody's beating me up. It's been horrible. So I have hardly got any sleep, and I'm exhausted. But after the show, I'm going to bed tonight. I don't care. I'm turning my phone off. Suzy, we lost you for a minute. Where'd you go? Oh, now we can't hear you. Oh, wait, unmute. Unmute yourself. Unmute. You're muted. You're muted. How did that happen?
I don't know.
I can't unmute her. Okay, wait.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you were muted for some reason. I don't know why.
You must have accidentally hit the button.
No, I think because you were gone when the show started and we were all muted. I think when you popped back in, it probably kept on. What are you doing? How are you?
What am I doing? I'm trying to get in the show.
So how are you? How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm sore, like Sherry. You tired? But hey, I'm here. But I'm okay. I'm not as sore, not as tired as you. I don't know about the sore part, but I'm here.
I am exhausted. I'm at that silly exhausted place, where you don't want to be awake, but you have to be awake, and you're trying to sit up, and you just want to slump over and laugh at the world as it floats by. I just can't today. I cannot. But, sure,
I did too. Oh, I have to say, Denise, I do too. Go ahead, Sherry.
I'm doing better. I'm not hurting now. I was hurting last Friday because of trying to work on the garden and lifting pallets. They were baby pallets. They weren't the big ones. I'm like, I can do this. Woke up the next day and I'm like, I can't do this. It hurts. It hurts. But I'm doing better. I'm trenching. I'm extending my garden and been out trenching, fighting spiders.
Y'all remember when we were younger, they used to say how fun it'll be when we get older, or we would get so mad at our parents and say, I can't wait till I get your age so that I don't have to listen to nobody and I can do what I want.
I could be the boss.
Well, whoever told us that, they lied. This is no fun.
No, they lied.
It's between the body.
We had visions of grandeur, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. It's even like, when I turned 21, I hear people say how glorious it was to turn 21. You could go out there and party. Yeah, on my 21st birthday, I was home babysitting. Well, I had my baby, and I had my daughter's
wash dishes, change the diapers. Yeah.
Well, my baby's daddy and his sister went out and partied on my 21st birthday.
Oh my God.
I stayed home and drank a beer and watched Alf on TV while the kids were asleep.
I remember that show,
That's
Alf.
what I did.
I used to watch that, Elf. That was
Right.
That's what I did. It was oh my God. Yeah. So this isn't fun. They lied to us. They forgot to tell us about all the aches and pains and non-sleep and crap that comes along. Paying bills is the biggest lie.
Hey, I was going to say, the biggest thing that freaked me out when I was a kid was when I found out that we go out and we have to buy a car or truck, but the thing that freaked me out was, I'm like, so after you go out and buy the car, You got to buy gas to make it run? That sucks. Like,
What do you mean if the battery goes out? What do you mean if the battery goes out? We can't go nowhere. It won't start. What are you talking about?
I couldn't believe you got to keep putting something in it to make it go and pay for it. You know what?
I knew that. I knew that you have to pay for it and your insurance, and you got to make sure you got money when things break all the time.
Yeah, and one thing my parents never told me was that lights in the house didn't automatically come with the house when you moved in. You had to pay for that crap to keep it on. It's like, what? What do you mean I have to pay a bill?
Oh, I taught my kids that. That costs money. Just like going to the park. I'm like, it's going to cost money. And they're like, Mom, it's free. And I'm like, no, we have to get in the car and drive to the park. It's going to cost me money.
Yeah.
That's how
True that.
See, I was never told that. I mean, the only thing I knew was you had to make money to go to the grocery store to buy food. You come home, you cook it, and you have to clean the dishes. I was never ever told that there was a such thing as a water bill. What's that? An electric bill? What? You mean that's not free?
Now we have internet bills and everything else, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It was all a big sham. So anybody who's younger that's out there listening to this right now, if somebody tells you that becoming an adult is a good thing,
adulthood beware.
They're lying to you. It's a scam. Don't believe them. Just don't do it.
Yeah, just stay young. Yeah. Stay with mom and dad. Let them pay the bills.
Yeah. So speaking about scams, well, yes or no, yay or nay. We're going to touch on a point tonight that could be kind of controversial compared to one's religion. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, okay. Very controversial. Yeah. So we're going to talk about a few things and about a few people out there, and our yays and nays on what we feel about them. Now, Suzy knows all about what we're going to talk about. I just learned about this person not that long ago, just matter of fact, early in the week. And you guys are about to see something that Suzy and I do not agree on. I know. Shocking, huh? We have found something that we don't both agree on. We have different aspects of this. I mean,
here's what I told somebody today, Brenda. I told this guy today, I'm echoing.
Uh-oh.
You know why I'm echoing?
That must be me.
Okay. So I told this guy today, look, you believe what you believe, and I believe what I believe. And maybe we agree, maybe we don't agree, but maybe we could meet somewhere in the middle, and maybe I can say some things or you can say some things and we can expand our horizons from each other, So.
Yes. And I want to go ahead and say hi to Jason, Norma, Denise, Sherry. Oh, hi, Sherry. Brent.
Brent. Yeah, I see Brent in there. Steve, yeah.
I need, wait. Y'all remember this show with the mirror?
My sister used to watch that.
And I see Denise, and I see.
It was called Romper Room. It was Romper Room.
Oh, no.
My sister used to watch. I hated that. I used to walk. I'd leave the room. I'm like, that is, I used to tell her it was a show. It's bad.
Just thought, oh, you guys got to excuse me. Like I said, I'm extremely exhausted. And for the last 3 days, I've got like 4 hours sleep. Maybe because of cleaning up watered floors, electricity on and off, storms,
Denise, nobody mentions your name. Hi, Denise.
I
Mention your
did.
name. I never got my name mentioned either. Denise,
I
I
said,
see you.
I said, and I see Denise, and I see. I
That'd be
can't.
kind of creepy, though. She's like, what?
God. Lord, please help me. I'm trying to. I had a cup of coffee, and the last 2 days I haven't really eaten a whole lot. Like yesterday, what did I eat yesterday? I had a
What did I
small
eat
little.
yesterday?
I had a small
I had
little
pizza. I had
dinner.
pizza.
I had pizza too yesterday.
I had a bean
Good
burrito
stuff.
today.
I just put spinach and cheese on it and garlic, and yeah, it was good.
Ooh, that
Oh,
sounds yummy.
I, I'm not hungry. I did
Suzy
have a
and I
cup
are
of
like,
coffee though.
we're making
Just
our own pizza.
I do that too. I buy mushrooms and onions and stuff to put on, and I'll get a regular cheese pizza and just put my own stuff on it. Add
That's
extra
what we do.
mozzarella cheese and
Add cheese and
yeah,
spinach and garlic.
yep.
Good.
That's the way we do it. This is how we do it.
That's the way we do it. Yes.
That's right. So, where do you want to start tonight,
We
Susie?
want to jump in. Well, let me say a prayer, okay?
Yeah.
I just want to shout out to God. You're so good. I love you. And Jesus, you're the bomb.com. Thank you.
Thebomb.com.
I'm
Well,
not going to forget that. The bomb.
coming from
It goes.
modern day technology, I wonder if you type that in a search engine, if it'll come up something.
I'm sure it
The
would.
bomb.com. Right?
JesusBomb.com. There's that. Oh, man.
Oh, Lord.
All right, so
Yeah.
we are going to talk about this.
Which
What
one do
is
you want to talk about first? You want to talk about Audrey Uis?
is that the one that says that he's Jesus and he has hands for feet?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, then let's do that.
You want to show a picture of him on his?
I can do that.
Okay. There's his name is he goes under Akita something or other. I don't know. He lives in Arizona out in the desert. What does the Bible say about if Jesus says he's in the desert, don't go?
Don't go there.
Go.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Just don't do it.
There it
Don't
is.
do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
But
So
there's always someone.
this kid here, man,
There you go.
these things bigger. You want to
Yeah,
give
'cause I need
everybody
a-
a little
I need
backstory
a
on it?
microscope. Just read that, man. I'm like, let me get my magnifying
Everyone's
glass out, man. I can't. It's too small. I'm on my phone, you know.
You know, well, you're the
I
one
can't
who
read
brought
it.
it up on your phone.
Yeah, I know, but I got it from my other phone.
Do you
I
want
mean,
to
it's
tell?
not.
Do you
Huh?
want to give everybody kind of a backstory of this guy and how you know him?
Well, you know what I could do? Yeah,
Oh,
I could go where I sent it to you. I'm
okay.
echoing again.
That's because I'm talking to you and the speakers. I don't know what's going on. My microphone all of a sudden wants to be judgmental and just pick everything in the world up. So,
Okay, so that's a picture of him when he was younger, him when he was older. His Siege Akita is what his Indian name is. Okay, his adopted Lakota name, but his angel name is Audrius from the new Lyra Palladian's galaxy 2,000 years ago, and his civilian name was Yeshua Messiah.
huh?
Anunnaki shot his lightship down in 1964 and cut his stomach open in Area 51 and killed him. His immortal So he came back to Earth as an 8-year-old child in 1972. And that's his story, and he's sticking to it.
And I mean, he wasn't born as a baby. He just showed up at 8 years old.
um, yeah, because he was made up on some spaceship, and
So
then
he
he
was
was planted in New York. Yeah.
so he was abducted.
No, he was made
Oh,
from the blood of Jesus, DNA, and then that's how they made his body from. They cloned him from a blood of Jesus. So yeah.
uh,
So that could get a little weird because I do know that the story of Michael Aquino working at well, he worked at Cheyenne Mountain at the Stargate thing, but he also worked at the Montauk program where they were sending people back in time. And according to Swerdlow, who Swerdlow has a lot of videos out there, Stuart Swerdlow, if you want to
right,
look him up on YouTube. Stuart claims that he was sent back to kill Jesus, took a gun, saw Jesus, got scared, ran away, got punished when he got back from his time machine travel. And then he says that he went back and got the blood of Jesus so they could come back in the future and clone Jesus. So maybe that's where they cloned this guy. I don't know. That's what he claims his birth is from the cloned blood of Jesus. I don't know.
well,
Hell, how am I supposed to know all that detail? I don't know. I'm just going by what they're saying.
yes,
I'm
just
just reporting the news, okay?
right.
That's
Now,
it.
now, this guy apparently had done a podcast of some sort.
A whole
Of
bunch of podcasts.
Yeah, where he had showed his feet.
Now, Brenda, show the next video, that one where it's a text, real quick, of him.
Okay, the one that's a text.
And then you can say what you're going to say. And then
there's
I'll.
there's two. There's one here that has regular text, and then there's the one with the
There's one
long
where,
legs.
like, short little text and then 3 pictures of him on the side.
I don't think I have that one. Oh, okay, yeah, the three. Okay, I got you.
Okay, go ahead and post it,
Oh,
but then go ahead and
look
say
at
what you
who
wanted
he
to
was
say.
talking to.
Oh, who's he talking to? Moi. He was talking to me. Jesus was talking to me. Okay.
Yeah, but if you look at the top, whose
Uh-huh.
picture's up there in that little round
Oh,
bubble?
yeah, because I invited her into the conversation. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, gee, did she find this guy?
No, I did. And I brought her in.
You know, people aren't going to be able to see this. Okay. Oh,
Okay.
what happened? Oh, there it is. Dirt.
It's really small.
Okay. It's really small, but go ahead and say what you were going to say real quick before we say anything.
Who?
You were going to say something before you showed this.
No, I just said, oh, okay. So that explains. I thought maybe did she find this guy?
Yeah. Okay. No. Okay. All right. So this conversation was okay. So I was in a group, a UFO group, right, up in Canada, and anyway, some people knew this guy, and they brought him into this group because they were going to raise money for him. This was a group to raise money to give to Jesus. Okay, and so the guy that had the group told him all about me. And so apparently he got in the group. I didn't know that that's who he was because he was going by a different name, right?
Okay.
And so in this text, he's saying, Suzanne, the guy's name was James, mentioned me about me to you, it seems, right? And then so then I'm in there like he said I'm on video let's see. So anyway, but that's where the conversation starts, where he says that James had told him, about me and wanted me to talk with him. So basically, I don't know if there's another one in there.
There's another text in there, yes.
Okay, go ahead and show that one.
Okay. Un momento, por favor. That would be this one right here. Yeah. Okay. Ooh, good God. Can you read that?
Okay, I can pull it up on my end. Okay, so um, basically, the girl is trying to describe to me he's not an Anunnaki god. Anunnaki shot his ship down and cut his stomach open once, trapped him in Area 51, killed him. His soul went into a 3.5 transition, then off through the fourth Terra heaven, then unified in the fifth dimension, New Lyra, where the Father's archangels Arianas recreated his 1.1 Lyran DNA. Boy, this gets serious here. With nail scars from the original DNA 2,000 years ago. He is just like Yeshua Messiah, only new earth name and used angel name Adrias. So people who don't know who he is and try to nail him again. Nail him again.
Oh my gosh.
Dang.
So, dang, I know, right? So basically, he told me he was Jesus. So I said, well, the real Jesus was a vegetarian. Are you vegetarian? He goes, yes, I am. And I said, oh, okay. So if you're a vegetarian, why did you tell people to eat fish? Because that's pretty hypocritical if you don't practice what you preach, you know. He said, well, people were weak back then, and so I had to suggest that they needed to eat fish to gain strength. And I'm like, really? Because everything that Jesus said, people take it literal. So maybe you shouldn't have told them that.
I think he would have known better than to brawl with you, Susan.
I said, because, you start whole religions over everything that you say, Jesus. No, I didn't call him Jesus, but you know what I'm saying. I'm just making
Yeah.
fun. But anyway, so basically, I'm going to just come out and tell you what I said. I mean, I did not hold back on this guy at all. And they all go, oh my God, I can't believe she said that. I can't believe she said that. I'm like, yeah, I said it. So I said, really? Okay, so you were cloned from the blood of Jesus, right? From the cross, right? You were cloned from that blood? He goes, yeah. I go, well, Jesus never died on the cross. So I guess you're about a 2,000-year-old mistake. And then he's like, and they're like, I can't believe she said that. And then everybody goes, well, she has a right to her own beliefs, And I'm like, okay, whatever. So anyway, that was my conversation. Now, here's the thing. He has hands on his feet.
Yeah, that's what you
Okay.
said.
And he was made on a UFO. Okay. He was made on a spaceship. Okay. He was cloned. Okay. Now, he has an Indian name because during there was this prophecy that the Hopi Indians had, and the Hopi Indians had this prophecy that a man would come that would be Yeshua, and he would stop the white man from taking the water. So this guy shows up and supposedly stopped everything. Bernie Sanders was there during this event, and so he supposedly fulfilled this Hopi Indian prophecy. So they all recognize him as Jesus. So, I'm just saying they all think it's Jesus, whatever. Yeah, whatever. But here's another part of that story. So, my friend who knew him, she basically told me that Brenda, you're gonna like the story that
I'm watching your light over your head. Why is it pulsing on and off, going brighter and
It is.
is it?
I
Is it?
guess
I
It
thought
is.
maybe it was just
It
me.
is.
I'm glad you see it too.
I probably got a big angel standing back there.
It's like.
Light.
No, I don't see him. I just see your light.
So okay, so here's the interesting part of this story. Okay, so my friend died. Okay, and supposedly went to a very hellish place, and I have a picture of that. It's very scary. I mean, it's really a freaked out picture. Okay, really, really. Supposedly he took it when he went there and got her from there and brought her back, and she told me that really she's scared of him. She doesn't really believe he's Jesus. And the reason she says that because he shapeshifted into a reptilian.
Oh, well,
Well,
that figures.
So,
That makes sense.
take
He's
it for
not
what it's
Jesus.
worth. Yeah, I don't think that's Jesus. But maybe that's the Vatican Jesus because, they have that reptile Jesus, hanging
Yeah,
above.
Yeah, that
So,
that's something.
yeah. Might be their Jesus, hey,
Good possibility.
somebody's Jesus.
Yep. Um.
Yeah.
So he's since not been around, right? You never see him on
I don't
anything.
think he's around. Oh, what? No, I don't know. He's not as out there as he was. You might want. Can you show his YouTube thing or his Facebook page or whatever? One of
Is
his
that the YouTube one?
the Akita. I don't know. Is it the one with his where he's
Uh,
wearing all
yeah,
that
YouTube.
suit like he's going into the Battle of Armageddon or something?
Let me see if this is it. Hang on. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Uh,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if Jesus turns into a reptile, it's probably not Jesus.
no. Or if he has feet on his hands where the
okay.
feet are, or something. That no,
I think I found the
Probably
right one.
not Jesus.
no, no.
I
Okay.
think I found the right one. Let's see. You'll let me know when we bring it up. Is that it?
Okay.
Is that it? Look familiar?
No, no, no. That the just the picture of him. Didn't I sent it to you?
No, I
Let's see.
didn't get it. I don't know which one that is, and that's the
Didn't
one
get
video we
it.
were talking about.
Okay. Well, let me see. Hang on.
Oh yes,
Let me see.
you're talking about his. Okay, I got it.
Just profile picture. Yeah.
Yes, okay, that's why you
Profile.
had to say his profile.
I can't find the right word sometimes today. I don't know what the
I'm
deal
over
is. I'm
here
just like,
looking
it's
for
just
a
not the right
video.
word.
So that's
There
his
you
profile.
go. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah.
No, not really.
So that's his profile on Facebook or was. Yeah. He's wearing some kind of mask and so
Elk
I don't know.
Rock.
Anyway,
What?
so the what?
Kind of looks
Oh,
like
I
a
was looking at what it said.
What's it say? Because I can't
Okay.
see it. It's too small.
Oh, it's his name, and then it says High K Elk Rock. What does that mean? What does that mean? Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, it's Hika or Hikaka. Can't see it
Hikaka.
either. And Anyan.
Like an
Oh,
Indian name?
it's a Native American
Okay.
name.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So he has since like really not made the videos like he used to. Um,
I don't know. I don't follow him, so
When did he
and
used to do
yeah.
that? Was that like 5, 6, 7 years ago that this guy came out, or recently?
like, God, it had to have been Jeez. What, Susie? About 5, 6? Yeah, about 5, 6 years ago, maybe, wasn't it? And we lost Susie.
Is she frozen?
Yeah, we we've been getting wind and stuff. Let's see if it kicks her back in here in a minute.
But I saw the weather that you guys have been getting down there. There's another YouTube guy that does all the tornadoes and all the weather and everything coming, and so I listen to him once in a while.
Yeah, it's been pretty bad. And it's the funny thing of it is like over here in Copper's Cove, which is the city next to me, they've they've had really big uh, hail, so it's been kind of bad. Well, there you are. So it's been.
You're echoing. It's been bad.
It's because she had the show running.
Oh, she put "I'm frozen" in the chat. Oh, she froze again.
Yeah, she did. What is going on? But yeah, it's been kind of rough with the weather out here. It's been pretty bad.
Yeah, we've had some rain, here and there, but Susie needs some ice.
Some de-ice.
De-ice. Yeah, that's
It's been and I turned around and I had put a message in the chat that if we didn't go live, it was because like my power was out, because it's been on and off, on and off, on and off. It's like,
that's why I watched that guy today, because he popped on and was showing a storm, and he goes, "But Houston, you're okay because it's going to bypass you." And I was watching like, is Brenda going to have anything tonight or not? If you're going to get hit or not.
Okay, you're back.
Ice, baby. I thought that too.
Man, my phone is messing up. Or my earpiece is messing up.
Uh-oh. Hey, look, it's
not working, is it?
Yes,
Hey,
you're working now, Suzy. We can see you and hear you, and you're moving.
Yeah, but I'm not on my headset because it's not working.
Oh,
it's retarded. But you can hear me, okay, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Hey, Steve.
Hey, Suzy. Hey, Sherry and Brenda.
Hey.
Good to see you.
You had an epic entrance. Your profile and how you turned, that was epic. Yes.
He was doing his Vogue move.
I had practice the past few days. I've been screaming so much. I'm like, hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my right. I'm all over the place. I'm like someone else.
Too, huh? I've been doing
that. Yeah. Oh, I'm sitting here with a blanket in my lap. I'm cold. Suzy's freezing and I'm cold.
Starting to drizzle over here.
Is that all it's drizzling?
Yeah, I don't know if we're getting the same storm system you guys had.
No, they got a different one.
What happened, Suzy?
We had sunshine. Ours kind of bypassed us after this morning. So
it's 47 here in Chicago.
Oh, I can't tell you what it is because I shut my phone off. I didn't want to hear it going off. So now the real controversial thing here that we had to talk about is somebody who has been appearing lately, claiming to be somebody, and Suzy has been looking at him. I guess has known of him for a while. I just recently found out about him, and she's looking at him from a
not of him,
huh?
Not him personally, but of his person, but knowing of his person,
right? In the biblical sense. And then when I found out about him,
Yes.
there was something about him that I wasn't sure. So I did some digging. I made some phone calls. I found out stuff about him. And so me, well, let's talk about who he is. Go ahead, Suzy. Maybe if her phone will stay on. Go ahead, Suzy. Well, shit.
Okay. Okay. Bring in that first video. Let's watch a little bit of that, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
The very first one I sent you with Denzel Washington.
Yep. Let me go ahead and get it and set it up.
Okay.
Me and
That way we can kind of get a little bit of information according to the news.
I really hang on. What on earth is going on here? Okay. Sorry. I got thrown onto a different page for some reason. I don't even know what is going on today. It's because you're tired. Sherry's tired. I'm tired, and nothing wants to work right. That's about the way it works. All right, let me turn this on.
Okay.
Maybe.
Imagine a time when the world is transformed, when justice and peace rise above tyranny and oppression, a time when the promise of Allah unfolds before us as foretold in the Islamic prophecies, when Palestine is liberated and the rise of Imam Mahdi marks the beginning of a new era. This is not just a tale from the past or a distant hope. It's a powerful reminder of the divine plan and what awaits us in the future. Today, we are going to explore the deep prophetic insights about the end of Israel, the future of Palestine, and the emergence of Imam Mahdi. In the next few moments, I want to take you on a journey, one that challenges our perception of current events, one that connects us to something much bigger than ourselves. As we uncover the Islamic prophecies, you'll realize that this is not just about politics or history. This is about divine justice, faith, and the promise of a brighter future for all who stand firm in their belief. Are you ready to dive into this powerful story and unlock the truths that have been promised to us for centuries? Stay with me as we unfold the truth together and as we look at what the Quran and Hadith truly say about the final victory of good over evil. Let's explore the incredible journey of faith that is unfolding right before our eyes. Keep watching and let's walk through these prophetic revelations together.
How much of this do you want me to play, Suzy?
I'll tell you when.
Okay.
The Quran does not simply narrate the history of Bani Israel to entertain or inform. It does so to warn, to reflect, and to awaken. When we talk about the end of Israel, we must first understand how their beginning and their journey are etched into the very fabric of divine revelation. Allah reminds again and again how He chose Bani Israel, granted them favors, gave them prophets, kings, victories, but time and again they broke their covenant. They killed prophets, they distorted scriptures, and they preferred the life of this world over the commands of the Almighty. Allah says in the Quran, "And we gave Moses the scripture and made it a guide for the children of Israel. But they turned away after knowledge had come to them." That's not just a past, it's a cycle of betrayal that continues till today. The Quran highlights how they were given strength, but used it to oppress. They were given land, but defiled it with arrogance. They were given truth but manipulated it for their own agendas. Allah exposed their behavior repeatedly. Surah Al-Baqarah is filled with accounts of their disobedience, their excuses, their rebellion. It warns the believers not to fall into the same trap because the consequences are real and they're heavy. The rise and fall of nations is not random in Islam. It's not just politics. It's divine justice unfolding across time. And when Bani Israel was warned by their own prophets, they mocked them. They silenced the voices of truth. They clung to power, not to piety. This pattern led to their downfall more than once. The destruction of their temples, their exile, the scattering of their people, it's all part of the prophecy. Allah tells us they would return to the land, become arrogant again, and when the final warning would come, their end would be near. Surah Al-Isra, verse 104 says, "And we said to the children of Israel after Pharaoh, dwell in the land, but when the final promise comes to pass, we will bring you forth in one gathering." That gathering, that return, we are witnessing it now. The formation of the state of Israel, its rise to global influence, its military might, none of it is outside the script. It's part of the final act. But what shocks people is that the Quran already described their arrogance, their occupation, and even their eventual destruction. The Quran doesn't just criticize them, it exposes their strategy, their deception, and their role in corrupting societies from within. Yet, Allah didn't curse them all. He makes it clear that among them were righteous people, but the majority followed their own desires. And those desires led them to repeat the mistakes of the past. The promise of Allah is never broken. And if the Quran says a people will be punished for their oppression, for their betrayal, for their injustice, then that time will come. We're not watching history being made. We're watching prophecy unfold in real time. One of the most chilling yet awe-inspiring realities is the mention of Masjid al-Aqsa in both Quranic verses and authentic hadith, not only as a holy site, but as a place directly tied to the unfolding of the end times. This land, blessed, sacred, and contested, has been at the heart of divine events since the time of the prophets. And when we hear about the end of Israel, we cannot separate it from the fate of Masjid al-Aqsa, because this isn't just a conflict over land, it's a battle of legacies, a test of faith, and a confrontation between truth and falsehood. The Prophet Muhammad, in clear words, mentioned that a time would come when Masjid al-Aqsa would be under siege, that armies would march toward it, that battles would be fought around it, and that it would become a lightning rod for the events that signal the approach of the final hour. According to Hadith, before the appearance of the Mahdi and the return of Isa ibn Maryam li-Salam, a major event will take place around Jerusalem. It will involve nations gathering, turmoil spreading, and a form of divine trial intensifying. The Prophet warned his ummah to hold tight to the rope of Allah and remain firm, for the storm would shake even the most devout hearts. Yet in the midst of this storm, Allah promises something powerful. Masjid al-Aqsa will not be forsaken. This house of Allah, which was once the first Qibla of the Muslims, will rise again with dignity, not because of military strength, but because the hearts of the believers will awaken. The Zionist occupation, the desecration of the land, and the cries of the oppressed, none of it is lost on Allah. Every drop of blood, every stone thrown in defiance, every prayer whispered in the darkness, it is all recorded. And the promise of Allah is that injustice does not last. The Hadith of Thabin states, a group among my ummah will continue to uphold the truth until the command of Allah comes and they remain victorious. Scholars have interpreted this group to be in and around Al-Quds. That's not just a hadith. That's a
Okay, Brenda, that's
declaration
good.
of destiny. That's
Okay, that gives us a foundation of what's to come.
Yeah.
You know Israel's burning right now.
Now,
Yeah.
Divine
So we're
intervention.
gonna
what?
we're gonna talk about. He said that Israel's burning right now. So we
Oh,
all,
yeah, I saw that.
those of us that are in the know that Israel's not a country; it is a state, and it the land used to belong to Jerusalem and Palestine. And when the Zionists took it over, they turned it into Israel. So they treat it now as if it's a country. Um, and it was made in false false pretense. Um, when the United our embassy was put, they put it in Israel. Um, Trump had it moved to Jerusalem where it belongs for a reason. So now we have a gentleman that has come forward, and I'm going to let Suzy start on that, and then I'll tell. We're going to go. Like I said, Suzy and I finally found something that we're not in agreement with. If you can ever sit back and think of that, but we can come to a middle ground on this. So, Suzy, go ahead. Who are we looking at?
You know, one day
Suzy?
down the road, I'm going to say, I told you so. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You can say I
Okay.
told you
So
so. You're
one of
going with
these
knowledge. I'm going with
one of these days, I'm going to say, I told you so. I did not tell you that was like that.
I
Okay.
know.
So anyway, okay. So we have like this weird thing going on. Okay. I was talking to somebody today who is a Christian, who good, really good person, really good Christian, you know, solid person. And I mentioned, you know, because they belong to a certain denomination. And I mentioned, you know, that all Christian denominations come from the Catholic Church. Oh, no, 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 no. And he was like, no, no, no. And I'm like, no, that's history. I'm like, listen, that's history. Okay. So if you go back and you study history, you'll know that everybody who follows Christian religion follows what the Catholic Church. You know, because every religion of the Christian religion came out of the Catholic Church. So the
and
Catholic
that came
Church
out of
formed the religion and what you're going to believe.
and
Huh?
that came out of paganism. So everything leads
Well,
all back to one place. And the Catholic Church bombarded it and took everything over, divided everything to divide us. So
and see what a lot of people don't realize is that it was the Roman Catholic that were ruling in Israel when Jesus was there. Okay. Okay. So
Jerusalem,
they've been in control for a very long time.
yes.
Well, Palestine. Palestine. They ruled Palestine. Okay. So, but yes. So anyway, um, the Catholic Church um, literally has, you know, run people out of their. They run this the Norwegians out of Norway and you know, I mean, there's been all the battles over there have been fought because the Catholic Church is, you know, took over the lands and controlled, you know, the Spaniards, you know, this, you know what I'm talking about.
You're right.
Okay. You know, everybody feared the Spaniards, right? And but the Catholic Church formed the religion, and back in back in the day, you know, that was when in Constantinople for 1,000 years they had control of Constantinople. They built the Temple of Sophia, and they stole that land. Okay, like
Uh-oh. Hang
and
on.
then of course it was Memnit.
All right, go ahead.
What?
You were just
Can you hear me?
roboting for a minute there.
Okay. So it was a boy named Memnet who God told him to take back the city of Constantinople away from the Catholics. And this is where all the Constantines were. It was Constantine 11, who was living in Constantinople at the time when the Muslims took back what was the Ottoman Empire, took back the land, and then they renamed it Istanbul, Turkey. Okay, and then the Catholics went to the Vatican. So moved over to Rome. So from there, and they took back their land. And Mehmed II took it back. God said he would do, and he killed Constantine 11. Because he gave him a chance to get out of the city and live. He was nice. He's like, look, you can leave because God said I'm going to take this country or take our land back, or you can stay here and die. He goes, I'm going to fight because you're not going to get it. Well, he killed him and he got it. Okay. So, so you have this Catholic religion that, wrote the Bible, wrote the scriptures, made the religion what it is today. Okay. And then it was Martin Luther, everybody knows, that rebelled against the Catholic Church and came out of the Catholic Church. They started the Methodist churches, they started the Presbyterian churches, they started, and then you got your Baptists and then the Pentecost, and you got all these people that all, went different directions out of what the Catholic Church, set up and made the rules of what Catholic, what the Christians are going to believe in. Okay. So everybody believes in what the Catholics told you to believe in, and everybody thinks that that's the religion, that rules everything else, right? I mean, that's what people think that are in the church, right? I mean,
right.
Everybody thinks their church is right?
Yep.
Just saying. Okay. So, and like that, like Danzel was saying, there's good people everywhere. It's not like it's just, it's all good, bad. It's good and bad everywhere. Okay. But
Kind of go hand
people
in
need
hand.
to.
You can't have one without the other.
So historically, what we had is Malachi back in the 1500s, Catholic priest, was given a message from God, told that there was going to be 112 popes. And after the 112th pope dies, which was Francis, who just died on Easter, or they said he died on Easter. He may have died before, who knows? That's another conspiracy rabbit hole to run down, right?
Yeah.
They could have just been, he could have been dead, and they could have been just saying he wasn't dead and then made that his death day on Easter or whatever, Monday or whatever. But so anyway, he was the 112th pope, according to this prophecy. Okay, now that's a weird thing because really, Ratzinger, okay, who was before Benedict, well, he took on the name Francis because he wanted to be named after Francis of Assisi, but his real name was Benedict. He was from Argentina, right? So he was a Jesuit. He was the first Jesuit priest to be pope. Okay, but before him was Ratzinger. Now Ratzinger was involved in that scandal with the Queen when they went over to Canada and all those indigenous children disappeared. Remember? Yep. And then so there was all these lawsuits. The Canadian government was suing the Queen and the Vatican over those kids all not coming back. All those children they took out on a picnic and never brought them back because they probably, had one big picnic with them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Okay. So the scandal was so bad that they decided to let Ratzinger retire, and that was the first time in history that a pope didn't die in office. Okay, there's been like 5 or 6 popes since I was born, literally that many. One of them was poisoned after like what, a week or 30 days, I don't know, some weird deal. But there's been all these popes, right? And so Ratzinger, it was so weird on the night that they were announcing that Francis was going to take over while Ratzinger was still alive, lightning struck the Vatican. I don't know if you knew that. Lightning just struck it that night.
Yep, I remember that.
It's crazy. And so then Francis becomes Pope while we really had a sitting Pope already, which was like not supposed to ever happen. But then Ratzinger ends up dying, so then Francis is a legitimate Pope. Now he's dead. Okay, so it's almost like the day after the Pope, this last Pope dies, which the prophecy says it's the end of the Catholic Church. Now, we just heard his prophecy that Israel is going to be no more. Okay, we've all known that because it's in the Bible. It says in Revelations over and over again that Israel is going to get wiped off.
Wow! Hey, we're saying the
There's
right target there.
there's something fighting.
Right
fighting.
target with Suzy.
There's something fighting.
Wiped out. They're going to kill them all.
There we go. You keep breaking
Do
up,
what?
Suzy. Okay, go ahead. Good, we got.
Okay. So I thought when the Rothschilds purchased Israel through the Balfour Declaration, right? I thought it was a trick because they're going to get all the Jews to do their Aliyah back to Israel, right? Everybody's going to go Aliyah home.
Oh my gosh.
And she went all y'all home.
She sure did. That was
Dang.
They literally
Boom! And there it goes. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You said all y'all home and you disappeared.
Aliyah. Yeah. So
you did, and you poof, you were gone, and then you came back. Alia.
We're gonna get fighting with this, obviously, tooth and nail, Suzy.
oh my God. So I figured it was a trick. We're going to trick all the Jews to come to Israel, and then we're going to bomb all their, I'm going to say my French word, asses. We're going to bomb all their asses, kill them all. I'm like, don't go back to Israel because you're going to die. Okay, it's a trick. I mean, come on. I mean, look at hey, what's the best way to kill Jews? Like, put some cheese in front of their face and say, come over here, little mouse, okay? Like, come on. Don't do it. Don't trust them.
So what are you saying, that they shouldn't be going to Israel or what?
Well, not if the Rothschilds and the Bilderbergs told you to go there. Would you go there if the Rothschilds invited you?
But see, a lot of people don't know that. They don't know that it is the Zionists that have taken over Israel. There are people out there that are not awake that don't know that. So
there's plenty of videos where Jacob Rothschild sits there and tells you how his family purchased Israel.
But they don't know of them as being bad. That's the problem.
Well, all you got to go, you look on his site, he's dead now, but he advertises the Illuminati. Join the Illuminati.
Okay. But do you know how many people say that, well, people talk about the Illuminati and it's not something that's real. It's just that there is not enough people awake. And
I can't help those people, Brenda.
Well,
I can't fix stupid, okay?
But the problem with it is back in those days when people were getting prime property, up to 3-4 years ago, when people were getting offered free property and housing for free.
They kicked out the occupants of their home and they put anybody in there that would take it.
Yes.
This is the BS that they did.
I understand that. You know that. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
But there are a lot of people who at the time didn't know that. So they were thinking they were getting a good deal. They honestly didn't know when they got there that there was families living in those homes and they kicked them out on the street to be able to put these people in there.
And a lot of people didn't care. They just wanted their homes anyway. They thought, they just did injustice to other human beings. Yeah.
Yes. And that's what they do.
Yeah.
So in the brinks of all this, there was somebody that was supposed to come around. And
yes, according to the, something that I studied a long time ago, and here's the thing. What a lot of people don't understand is there's a prophecy. Okay. The prophecy is that the land would be given to Abraham's descendants. Well, guess what? The Muslims and the Jews are both children of Abraham. Both.
Correct.
Okay. So when they say two-party state or whatever, exactly, because they both are heir, because they are the children of Abraham, for God's sake. How stupid is this planet that we live on? You know, they both live there, and so do they need a bunch of Rothschilds to tell them what to do? No.
So hang on. So on that note, with you saying that, this person that we're going to be talking to or talking about, the video that I seen said that he didn't inherit the land. He inherited the world and everything in it, including us and our properties. So there's my controversy.
Well, I'm not sure. I didn't hear that part exactly from what you said you heard, but he may have meant how we interpret what he says too. We might need to watch the whole video of him and not just a TikTok. You know what I'm saying?
It's hang on a second.
By the way,
Okay,
I think
go ahead and talk.
video was AI generated voice of.
Oh, it was.
Denzel.
Okay.
But either way, like somebody put thought and time into writing that and explaining it. So
yeah.
But I think I saw that little like thing at the beginning of the video.
Okay.
Just so that we're aware of that.
And that's the thing, you know, and here we do have a prophecy out there about a messenger, a person who is going to be the justice for the people who have had injustice. That God is going to balance the scales. Now, the word Allah is actually used by the rabbis as a name for God. Okay, so when they say Allah, it's just an Aramaic name for God. We say God, they say Allah. You know, just saying. I'm just saying. You know, I'm not getting into the details of that, but that's just what it is. But now, the prophecy does say, whether it's in the Christian Bible or it's in the Quran, it's all pretty much the same thing. There will be somebody who comes called the Mahdi, who will fight against the Dajjal, and the Dajjal meaning like the Antichrist or the bad person, and so this person is coming to bring justice to the people for God. Okay. And and we're going to get into the video, and it's going to explain how will we know who the Mahdi is, or how do we know that this is the right person if this person steps up, just like what we were showing was the fake Jesus, you know. I mean, but if he says he was born on a spaceship from somebody else's blood, then I would think that's probably not the right person. Okay, just saying. You know. So if you would, Brenda, would you show the last video that I sent?
The very last one?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Oh, come on. Stop being silly.
One of the most anticipated events in our Ummah's history is the arrival of the Mahdi, the awaited one. This will be the first major sign of the end times, a sign that will alter the course of humanity. But when this takes place, how will we know for sure that it is the real Mahdi and not an impostor? The Mahdi, as described by our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, will be a man named Muhammad, the son of Abdullah. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "His name is like my name, and his father's name is like my father's name." However, his distinction lies not in physical resemblance to the Prophet, but in his character. Our Prophet, peace be upon him, had a character of unparalleled excellence, as Allah described in the Quran. And indeed, You are of an exalted moral character. The Mahdi will embody similar qualities of justice, mercy, and humility. The Mahdi will emerge at a time of great oppression and injustice in the world. His mission will be to restore justice and peace. As our Prophet ﷺ said, he will fill the earth with justice and fairness, as it was filled with oppression and tyranny. This transformation will not take centuries or generations. By the will of Allah, the Mahdi will achieve this monumental change in a short span of time. The question many of us ask is, how will we know it is truly him? The Prophet, peace be upon him, left us with detailed signs to prevent confusion and ensure we recognize the real Mahdi. First, the Mahdi will appear in Mecca. This is a critical sign mentioned in authentic hadiths, including Sahih Muslim. The scholars of that time will identify him based on the descriptions provided by our Prophet, peace be upon him. The Mahdi will have distinct physical features, a wide forehead, sharp, large eyes, and a thin, slightly hooked nose. But physical traits alone will not be the only markers. His actions and impact on the world will confirm his identity. Here is the key event that will remove all doubt. A group of Arabs from the Arabian Peninsula near Makkah will oppose the Mahdi. These individuals, though outwardly Muslim, will reject him and claim he is not the real Mahdi. They will gather an army to fight him, approaching Mecca from the east. But as they march toward him, Allah will intervene. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said that the earth will swallow them whole, a divine punishment and a clear sign of the Mahdi's legitimacy. This is an extraordinary event that will leave no room for doubt. Those who witness it will know that this is not an ordinary man, nor is he an impostor. The divine support granted to the Mahdi will confirm his status as the awaited one. The companions once asked our Prophet, ﷺ, O Messenger of Allah, what if among those who fight the Mahdi are sincere Muslims who do so unknowingly? Our Prophet, peace be upon him, replied, each will be resurrected based on their intentions. This response is profound. It reminds us to constantly purify our intentions and seek knowledge so that we may not fall into error. Brothers and sisters, let us begin by strengthening our relationship with Allah. Increase in your prayers, seek His forgiveness, and hold firmly to the teachings of the Quran and Sunnah. Knowledge is a shield in times of fitna. Educate yourselves and your families about the signs and challenges of these times. Stand for justice, even when it is difficult, and embody truth in your words and actions. May Allah grant us patience during hardships, gratitude in blessings, and unwavering trust in His wisdom. They claim to be the chosen people of God.
You there?
Can't hear you. Brenda, you're muted.
You there, Brenda?
She's muted.
I'm muted. Okay, go ahead.
I said, Brenda, you're muted.
I'm like, yeah, go ahead. Welcome to the shit show, everybody. Go ahead, Suzy.
Okay, now I want Brenda I want you to introduce right now, the day after the Pope died, a man who has stepped out and is proclaiming to be that Mahdi. And so if you would send that second video that I sent to you, it's a TikTok, it's a short one. It is going to be the man who says he is the Mahdi right now.
Okay, hang on a minute.
Okay.
Let me go ahead and pull that one up. Boop, 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 boop.
Okay.
He said something very important. He said that there would come a false shepherd.
Yes.
There would come a liar, a deceiver, and
I know
an
a false.
antichrist. The narrations also stated that the antichrist would be followed by Jews specifically. This is what the narration of Muhammad Hadith says.
Yes.
He also says in the narration that there has been no prophet that has ever been sent except that they were warned of the one-eyed deceiver. The prophet in his narrations described the Antichrist as being blind in his right eye. And he said that this was the sign of how you identify who the Antichrist is. The Prophet Muhammad he said something very important. He said that there would come a false shepherd.
That was it, right?
Was that the whole thing?
Yeah. It started over.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. There comes a false lying shepherd. Where have I heard that somewhere? It sounds a little bit familiar.
Yeah.
False lying shepherd.
Hey, I know one of those.
Y'all are killing me.
The prophet, I know, the messenger has a message from the universe.
Y'all are killing me.
No, that would have been the false shepherd.
Yeah.
It sounds like the Antichrist, you know, the same thing. It's just different words. To me, it sounds like the Christian Bible, you know, with the Antichrist coming, but
Yeah,
they changed it for them, you know, Allah and
yeah,
another person.
it is. I've read the Quran and the Bible, and it's almost like reading the Bible. It's almost word for word the same book. Really, it's crazy. You know, I mean, if people haven't read it, you know, you can't speak about something you haven't at least read, okay, or studied. So, but yeah, I've read it, and it's pretty much the same. You know, they say jinn instead of demons, or you know, they use a little bit, you know, different explanation to certain things. You know, but it's pretty close to the same kind of, and they talk about Jesus and Mary. I think they talk way more about Mary than the Bible even talks about Mary, and I think they mention Jesus as the greatest of all the prophets, even more greater than Muhammad. It says, you know, and they honor Jesus and who he was. You know, they believe in Jesus. They honor Jesus. They love Jesus.
I knew that one, that they did that. But yeah, listening to that part, it just sounded so familiar, you know, just different words, different meanings I always looked at it as different words, different meanings for the group of people in the different areas of the world.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that it's, you know, like, oh, you didn't say it the way we did, so you're bad, we're good. You know, it's
kind of like a different church. It's almost like comparing a Baptist to a Pentecostal. Okay.
Right.
You're gonna get differences. They're gonna seem really extreme, but they're gonna be both talking about Jesus, you know.
Yeah.
So this gentleman here claims that he is the Mahdi?
Yes.
All right.
He's the messenger of Allah.
He says he is the messenger. So his name is actually Dennis Villeneuve. Him and his family are from Canada. In 2000,
now the prophecy says, Brenda, that the Mahdi did not know that he was going to be used as the Mahdi, and not until he gets older, all of a sudden it's revealed to him who he's going to be. That's what the Quran has said, that just a regular person who doesn't know other than his heritage he'll be Muslim on one side and Jew on the other side. And this guy is Muslim from his father. His mother was Jewish. So, and he won't know till he's older in life or later in life that he's even the one that's going to be used. It'll be, yeah. But go ahead. Yeah.
So there was some things that were said that I disagreed with him. Susie doesn't agree with everything he says, but for the most part. So
right. I don't agree with everything he believes in. Right.
I found out that this guy in 2006 was a director of a movie that was called The Arrival. And this movie, The Arrival, it was about basically what he's saying now.
And you know, God could do that. God could have him do that to awaken something in him. You know, I mean, shoot, look at all the stupid movies out there that they made that fit my life that just really makes me mad, you know.
So in 2008, from 2006 to 2008, there was a lot of controversy with him. He was
yeah, and it says a whole army is going to come after him. They don't believe him.
I guess there was some things that he was messing with, and then he was posting things that were kind of bad. So I want to say it was the FBI, but they were in Canada when this happened. They went and raided his house. And when he found out that his house was raided, he left and he moved to Israel.
They're probably the government of defense.
He went and he moved to Egypt. He took his family and they all moved to Egypt. So
hey, that was a smart move.
Apparently he laid low for a while. There is still warrants out for him still to this day.
I bet.
Apparently Egypt, you cannot, request them be sent back here. I don't know.
You can't live in Egypt if your name is Moses either. You know that, Brenda?
I have no idea. My name is not Moses.
They had a warrant for his arrest, remember?
And I wouldn't want to be Moses. But a few of the things that he said in some of his videos, when he talks about how, like you said, one side is Israel, the other one's Jewish. And he said, like the horns that point from the east to the west. Now, on top of that, I've also read that the Antichrist is supposed to come from the middle, where the horn points from the east and to the west. So the controversy with this guy here is, I didn't know anything about him, like I said, up until the beginning of this week. And the first video I ran across to him, he didn't even open his mouth. I didn't even know what it was about. And all of a sudden, every hair on my body stood up. And it was like, whoa. So in me, there is something about him that is not right. Whether he is here now, and Susie and I can both agree on this, whether he's here to do the job he's supposed to do, either way, right or wrong, it's a job he's supposed to do. If he is the Mahdi, or if he is the Antichrist, either way, he's here to do some kind of job. So,
well, the Quran and the Bible say the Antichrist will get shot in the head and lose sight in one of his eyes. He will die, and he will actually come back to life. He'll get, and everybody says, "Oh my God, it's a miracle! He was like resurrected." And so
here's my confusion.
What the Antichrist is.
Here's my confusion, Susie. How many times have you said that every freaking Bible that I have sitting behind me, the Holy Bible, the Ethiopian Bible, the Geneva Bible, that they're all crap? Can't believe
Okay,
it. You know,
let me redefine that. Okay, look, there's a lot of books out there with scriptures. What's happened is King James wrote a book called his version.
oh yeah,
Okay,
yeah. I don't have a King
he,
James version.
he took real scriptures and then he put them in a book, short version them, and maybe added or took away things, and has only told parts of the story. So it's like, unless you know all the original stories and books, you
Right.
don't know the whole story.
That's true. And
Okay.
here's the thing. Even before that, whenever there was Catholic religion involved, okay, it was, unless it came directly off of the tablets.
You said it again. The Catholics, they are the screw ups of the planet. Okay. I'm
Right.
just saying.
So here in
I'm not saying that there aren't awesome Catholics who love God, who love
right.
Jesus, innocent of this. They have nothing to do with that. They just want to love God, But if you're talking about a belief system, like if I tell you a story and I tell it to you wrong, okay, then, and you believe it, okay, it doesn't make you a bad person. It just makes the story correct and that you shouldn't follow the story. But some people are so good-hearted they want to believe everything based on the think that, like, if some people go to churches, they don't know that maybe the pastor or might be a pedophile or something and harming their children. If they think they're going to the right place, okay, just saying,
Yeah.
to be
But
careful with
there
everything.
are there are a lot of other people, because I mean I didn't just let this go off of my feelings, because my feelings got me a crappy ex-husband, so I can't always go by those. But you know, um,
Or did
but
you
I've,
think they
I've
were going to be the perfect angel when you married them? I'm just asking.
well, no, no, especially the last one. I knew he was an ass. I don't know what I was thinking. I was just stupid.
Taking a chance.
But we can all have our faults, but I'm not perfect. But but it's like, do you remember when we sat there and we talked about how we got to start paying more attention to our gut feeling?
Yeah.
I don't really get a whole lot of gut feelings. I do get some. Um, I don't leave my house though. I'm not around a lot of people. But this guy here, my gut feeling was so in the wrong. And I mean so in the wrong, that I've actually, when I did get to sleep, I had the strangest dream. The
Really?
strangest dream. Yes. Yes. So, when I have a dream that somebody is, and let me tell you, in this dream, Jesus didn't look anything like any photos we've ever seen.
What did he look like?
Very dark skinned,
Yeah, he has dark.
short hair, not long.
Okay.
And when I have a dream that somebody is dragging him around by his head, and
Driving him around by his what?
dragging him around by his hair, by his head,
Oh,
and the face that pops up is this person that gave me this really weird feeling,
really?
I
That is
have to go by that gut feeling. There's
Okay.
something about, look at, I'm talking about him right now, I'm getting chills. There is something about this man, and I cannot put my finger on it, that is oh so in the wrong. And I don't know why.
Well, okay. Muhammad did give us the clue, right? He said that
how you'll know it's him is the right person is that there'll be a whole army that comes after him, and the earth will open up and swallow these people and validate him. So we're gonna have to sit back and watch, get some popcorn, okay?
Just like everything that's going on now. Yes, we just have to
Right.
sit and watch and see what happens.
That's it.
Because and I'm out of popcorn, so I'm getting tired of buying it too.
Popcorn? Oh my God, we gotta get you some popcorn.
Waiting for it to go stale over here. Just like and then there's been I have just been seeing some really weird stuff lately. I'm like I said, I'm not sleeping. I'm as of 2 days ago, I've really not had much to eat other than maybe once a day. And today, when I had that beef burrito, I had to choke it down. I'm just not. There is some crazy crap going on right now, and some of it's in my head. I got crazy crap going on in my head, and it just. I'm going through a very weird spiritual thing right now. Extremely weird. And for the first time in my life, I got to tell you, the first time in my life, I am stumped on how to handle this. Other than to just sit back and let my dreams tell me what it is that I need to be doing and what direction I need to be going, because things have been so strange lately. I've been under a lot of stress for the last month. I'm having problems with my insurance. I've been able to check my sugar for a whole month, and my doctor and I agree. We don't want me sticking myself with pins anywhere, because of me being on both blood thinners. I don't clot, so I bleed a lot when I check my sugar for my fingers, which is why I have the thing that sits in there. I haven't been able to get that, so I haven't checked my sugar, which might be one of the reasons why I'm very, very off. Because I take enough insulin to kill a horse, and I don't know which way to take it because of my sugar. So today I finally spoke with somebody about that, and they're going to try to get that fixed for me. But so that might have something to do with it. The last 3 days have been really bad because of all these storms and them sirens going off right outside my house. The dogs are freaking out. Then once that one turns off, I've got the one on post behind me that goes off. So I'm getting it both ways. Not sleeping. It's been a roller coaster ride. And I have been fighting this roller coaster ride for days. But I'm just saying, when I seen this guy, like I said, when I popped on the video, he didn't even open his mouth yet. I just looked at him, and everything on my body was like, oh, no. So I don't know what he's into, if he's up to something, but I've asked other people about him. Dennis Carroll is one, because when I first seen his video, that's the first person I sent it to was him. And I said, and he goes, oh, no. That is very bad news. He knows of him. He knows him. And he is not okay with him either. And then there was a couple of other people. So I don't know which way to go. I mean, Suzy, you and I have always agreed on almost everything that has to do with
I've kind of
happens.
studied this a long time ago. And I know what's coming for Israel, like the end of the Catholic Church, the end of Israel. Okay.
But see, now I've known that too.
Israel will be left in desolation, is what the Bible says.
Now
I've
known that too, but in a different aspect. Okay, because I've known it in the research of Israel, how it started, where it came from, different things like that. Okay, so I've seen the same thing, but not on a biblical level, This one has been science research level, basically.
Yeah.
But they match up. They match up. Pure. They match up. Somebody has got a very big playbook. Okay. And this playbook has got both good and evil. It has the same plays in a good way and in a bad way. And at some point, let me tell you, my feeling is right now that these things are colliding. They're colliding. That good and that evil on different aspects are smashing into each other. And something's going to happen.
What's really interesting, though, to me, is that this Malachi back in the 1500s prophesied about this Pope dying, and then all of a sudden, this man says he's the Mahdi now. The very next day, I mean, you just can't make this up.
Now, when I remember when I was younger, and of course, like I said, I grew up Catholic. I woo. And my grandmother used to tell me all the time about the last pope. When the last pope comes, there will not be another platform. So that's how you know it's the last pope. And then that's when trials and tribulations are going to happen. And there's going to be war, and there's going to be this and that. So,
well, but it says there will be wars and rumors of wars always up until that time. So that's like we've had wars, and we've had rumors of wars, but it says that's not the end to come for these particular prophecies.
right.
But the fact that you have somebody within the Catholic Church saying the church is going to end after this 112th Pope, okay, the Catholic Church will, dissolve or whatever it's going to do. And then you have this turmoil going on with the Palestinian people and the bombing that's going on. And then you have somebody rising up saying he's there to bring justice to these people. I mean, this is something is going on, is what I'm trying to say. Something bigger than all of us is happening in this world. And it's going to get bigger.
Well, and that's another thing I want to talk about. Okay. The Pope passed away. I've seen other countries doing a tribute to him passing away. And I have been watching what they've been doing. And I don't know if y'all seen the video of them carrying something out, and these people walked on their hands with their legs on each other's shoulders, and they were walking out on their hands carrying like the shrine of the Pope. Bad. Then they had the ones where everybody was wearing the black hoods, the real tall black hoods, and they had the upside down crosses on their robes and sleeves. And so creepy stuff, right, Brett? You've seen them too. Good, I'm not the only one. So it's like almost like, I don't know if they are actually paying tribute to the Pope, but if they are, then what Pope are they paying it to? Who actually was the Pope? Okay, who was he that they feel they have to put Satanism into his tributes? Just like the one where and I think you brought it to my attention, where his casket was, where his body was, and in that wall behind him, there's the upside down crosses in the wood.
Yeah.
Who is this man? Who was this man? Because I would think on a religious aspect, if he was the Pope of the people and of God, and why was all this Satanism thrown in there with it? Who did this? You know? I mean, did they just pick the bad person that they could pick when they had the other one step down? The lightning bolt that hit the Vatican, was that God saying, oh, y'all are messing up bad? I mean, who do we believe? Where do we turn? What do we do? Where do we go? So this is what we do. And you and I have all agreed on this. That's when we sit at home and we talk to our Father and we talk to Jesus ourselves. Why? Because we cannot go to churches and believe a lot of the things that they say. I mean, do those people that filled that cathedral, do they not see that stuff? Do they not see the upside down crosses? I mean, do they not see it? Was the Vatican and the Pope, was the Pope a cult leader? Was the people at the Vatican, was it a cult?
Well, you've seen you've seen the room where the Pope sits and the it's like it looks like Jesus looks like a reptile, right? In that tree above him. Have you seen that?
Yes.
That's for real. And then the church itself looks like a giant snake.
Yep.
Okay. So
Yes.
you know who these people are, Brenda. So,
Oh, I know exactly who they are, but I
Okay.
just don't understand why the people that go there don't see it and why they don't think. One of the main scriptures is God said, you will not worship anyone before me. What do they do with the Catholic Church? They worship Mary.
Here's how's if you go back in history, if you okay, you were forced to be Catholic or they killed you. They tortured you or they killed you. So families for generations have been Catholic by force. It says the kingdom of God suffers violence and the violent take it by force. So the violent have been taking people into the religion by force for thousands of years. Okay. And they would go into whole towns and cut everybody's heads off, stick them on stakes, and if you didn't convert over to Catholicism, okay. So, this is a very harsh history of the Catholic Church. Okay, they have murdered Joan of Arc. Okay, should I say any more? Okay, that's just one story. Many people's stories of persecution. Many of my grandfathers were murdered by the Catholic Church. Okay,
and then I look at
they stood up to it.
Right, and then I look at this guy who says, all Christians from the east and from the west, you must obey me. I'm sorry, but the last time somebody said for me to obey them,
I don't have a look, I'm not either here nor there, but look, I'm gonna have to listen to that again because I'm not sure exactly if you quoted him right. You're just saying. But
I'm gonna find them, and then when I find them, I'll send them to you. I've got them somewhere in my Facebook.
But I think I remember hearing it, and he says you need to obey me. I think what he's saying is, I think that he means I'm bringing justice, and that's how it's going to be. And and so he's stepping into his place as a. He's going to have to be forceful because he has to come up against a force, but he can't be violent. Okay, what I'm saying in that sense. Okay, but he has to be firm, and he has to be
seen. Have you seen the rooms that he preaches of, and he's got all of his followers in there, and they're all chanting all the same thing at the same time?
I've seen a couple of them
together, and it's
I
dark.
haven't watched all of it, but
It's all dark. It's all black in there. The only light that there is there's a red curtain behind him and a light right there on him. Everything else is all dark. I've been to plenty of churches, and even though they're wrong, but they're at least lit. You know what's sitting next to you. Now that kind of terrifies me a little bit.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
that's
I guess the proof is in the pudding. We're going to have to see if this is
right.
the man that God has chosen to help deliver these people or not. You know?
Now, I mean, I can understand him saying that he wants to make things right and and help the Palestinian people. But I have also heard from a lot of different people that's not.
And he wants to help the Jewish people. He says he wants to make it where they can all coexist together again. And but you got to get rid of the Illuminati. You can't. The Illuminati
Oh,
got to
yeah,
go. You got to go.
I mean that's a given.
Okay.
But they themselves are older than dirt too. They've been here for how long? And I
Ever.
mean, it's just been it's just been a repetitive family bloodline that just blood curse that just keeps producing and reproducing and everything else. So, you've got to go to the top of that head. The way that I've heard it said is they got to go to the top of the head of the snake and cut it off. Well, people might think, oh, well, that's the Vatican. Actually, I think it's higher than the Vatican.
Well, look, the Vatican just got its head chopped off. Okay, so
It did. I don't know if it went deep enough, but it sure did.
yeah.
So, the only thing now, if for some reason I hear on a news thing that a lightning bolt struck the Vatican and blew it completely up, I'm going to be like, huh, well then, look at there, you know? Folks, hang on, we're in for a long ride.
Jesus is the bomb.com.
Absolutely. So, I don't know. This is just, and maybe I had this dream because I have been looking into him and I've been trying to look at different aspects, and I've watched his videos to try to see if maybe I'm mistaken what he says. And every different one that I see, he says something else, and I'm like, goodness. And I mean, and it's really hard sometimes for me to watch his videos because the man, just looking at him, I can ring out everything in my head that he's saying. Just looking at him, the man puts me in a weird place. I'm kind of I'm not scared of him. I'm just I don't even know the word that I want to use. It's just a very strange place. And I've ran across several people that have made me uncomfortable. He makes me uncomfortable. I've ran across several people that have made me uncomfortable, but never as deeply as this man has. Never.
Hey, if whoever the Mahdi is, I would not want his job. Okay, just saying.
Well, I wouldn't want his job. I wouldn't want Trump's job. I wouldn't want Flynn's job. I wouldn't want a lot of jobs. There's a lot of jobs out there I wouldn't want.
Yeah.
I mean, this is such a sticky world. Hell, anymore, I don't think I would want the mailman's job, for crying out loud. I mean, everything is so controversial and everything is so wicked and
Even Elon Musk is like going, I'm afraid to mention that because it might kill me. I mean, shoot.
yeah. And I seen his they did a meeting today of the minds, all of them, Trump, Vance, all of them. And basically Elon was saying bye to Trump. He's going to go back to dealing with his cars and SpaceX because he's got his team in there. They're doing it. He's not all the way out of it. If they get stuck on something or if anything happens, they just call him up. But they have found so much money that has been extorted and stolen from us and misused and everything that
But he knows the people who did it, and he doesn't want to bring their names up because he's worried for his life.
well, but
But he
see,
said,
the thing, I know that he can say that, but here's the thing. their names are going to get brought up regardless, but they're not going to be brought up. They won't be brought up by him. They won't be brought up by anybody in his team.
Well,
The
all
paper
those
will be
names
made.
are
It'll
now
go to the
exposed
DOJ.
to all the people that were involved in the whole research of, you know what I'm saying. But I'm
Oh
just
yeah,
saying,
they're all happen to be protected right now because they're all under, people have been doxing them, so now they have to have detail and all this other stuff. So I mean, how many people for how many years have been sitting there saying, oh well, Elon Musk is the Antichrist.
oh yeah,
I hear people say, oh, Trump's the Antichrist.
oh yeah.
I hear people saying, oh, Barron's the Antichrist. And I'm sorry, that's
have
the
friends
nicest kid you will
that
ever.
I actually have friends who tell me that Trump is the Antichrist, and they believe it with all their heart. And
And when he was first in there, I mean, and it's well known, when he was first put in office, they said he is not a man of God. He wasn't a man of God. But that changed. So anybody can get salvation. But see, now the one thing that I have seen is there
Dr.
is.
Thomas told me, he goes, salvation is for everyone, anyone who wants it. Yeah.
Now, there is a young man in another country. I'm trying to think of which one it is. It's one of the Arab countries, who, since he was a young boy, he was handed as king and ruler of that
Hey,
country. He grew up like that.
Buck was 99 years old when he prayed the prayer for Jesus, and we baptized him in my backyard when he was 100 in a horse trough. So it's never too late.
So, anyways, this young man, he has grown up very wealthy. The whole entire country praises him. When he goes out in public, everybody runs to kiss his hand. He drives around in a vehicle made of gold. Now, some people say, watch him. And when I look at him, he's got dead eyes.
So, Brenna, it's really clear who the Antichrist will be. He will get shot in the head and die, and then come back to life, and they'll say it's a miracle, and he'll lose his eye. So until we see that, like I said, get some popcorn.
Watch for somebody getting shot and losing his eye.
That's it.
Oh my gosh.
And it wasn't Trump because he got shot in the ear.
Right?
He didn't lose his eyeball, okay?
They missed that. It was
Yeah. They tried to turn him into the Antichrist, but it didn't work. Okay. You can't make the Antichrist
right.
because you want to be the Antichrist, okay? It don't happen like that.
Right. But this guy here, he's been everywhere. I mean, everywhere lately since the Pope died. He pops up all over the place. I can't even sit there and go through reels without seeing 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 of them, and I'm like, and I'm let me look at the guy who says, "Wake up! It's time to do farm chores," in his robe. Okay, he's out there in his robe yelling at his chickens because they're in the hay trying to lay eggs. He's threatening to turn them into Chick-fil-A.
That's funny.
So, I have been, and I'm sorry, y'all, I've been kind of distant.
I was thinking the other day we were talking about this, and I thought about Nostradamus. Nostradamus said the Antichrist, he used the word Mavis or something like that. And I was like, I wonder what that's supposed to mean. But he kind of references who the Antichrist is also.
Yeah. And I have been kind of distant lately because of the fact that, number one, I will tell everybody now, I have to go in, I have to have study done on my heart, which has been making me tired. Not knowing where my sugar's been has been making me tired. I have been extremely drawn down. Like we said at the beginning, whoever said growing up was going to be fun, it's a trap. They lied. Run. because it's a lie.
A lot of work.
I know, right? But
What do you mean, Brenda? You don't
Brenda,
know your
Jerry,
sugar?
what do you think about all this stuff, about all these prophecies and all this stuff? What do you think? What are you thinking in your head? Tell me what you're thinking.
Me? Well, the guy, I don't know what he looks like and I don't know who he is, so I have no clue about him that Brenda's talking about. I don't know. That one, this is a first for me to hear this prophecy. I don't know. I'm kind of I take deep dives into a lot of subjects. I just don't talk about them. And so this is something new that I have to look into because I haven't heard about this person or this subject, let's say, but it kind of all sounds like the same to me as the Antichrist or Jesus. It's like I've been looking into things where stories of religion and histories kind of sound the same, like they're overlapping, but they're from different parts of time of either a woman or a man or this and that or this group or that group. And it's like different eras, different places, but it's the same story. There's like this underlining, if you can get past all the other stuff, there's the same story. So where's the pinpoint? Where did it really start? That's my question. There's more to the story than what people talk about or discuss. I mean, more and more are starting to open up. I've been finding them and listening and going, oh, okay, that makes sense to me. But haven't gotten into a cohesive way to express it yet that I want to.
Well, my second brain doesn't work anymore, which is our thyroid. So the doctor says that could they got to check that too, because that can make me real tired. So I have been thinking, I've been sitting around and I've been diving into a lot of stuff myself. And when I can't sleep, I'll lay down to go to bed and I'll lay there for a while. And of course, Putin comes over and he starts snoring, and I'll just lay there and lay there and lay there. Then I'll make him get up, and I'll get up, turn on the computer, and I'll start going through stuff and writing stuff down. And then I'll get tired and I'll get up and I'll lay down. I'm exhausted, but I'm not sleeping. That's a lot of my problem. So I've been trying to dig around into some stuff, and like I said, this guy is all over the place. I think I even found his Facebook. It says on there you can add him as a friend, but I didn't want to friend him. But a lot of his videos are down there. Now, when he talks, does the interviews with certain people, he doesn't make that interview about him being who he is or who he's saying he is. He does a lot of those videos talking about it as like a third person, not in the room. But the short reels, the short reels he does, I am. That's what he says. So, I get a lot of confusion with that because he's not straightforward one way or another. It's like certain things he does, he says it in certain ways, and then other things he just comes out and blurts it out. I am him. I am this person. I am this. And he had said something about, okay, we all know the God of this world is Satan.
Right.
Okay, we all know this.
One of those gods.
Yeah, thanks.
Right.
One of those many gods.
So one of the things he said that kind of threw me for a loop.
So we talk about the guy named Lucy Fur.
Yeah. Lucy Fur. Yeah, that's right. So when he makes references to this is God's world, which I've heard him say, and my thought, because when it was in the writing that he had put, when he put the description down of the video, he put G-O-D, but it was a small G. Ooh. Anybody who writes God puts the capital G and the OD. His was small. And from what I've always been taught is the small God is not our Father.
Hey, he
No,
could have spelled it wrong. How many? Or it could have just been whatever. But I wouldn't rely too much on spells.
well,
Ings.
Some people
it's
put
not
the
that. I'm
smaller
just saying
g
that
because
was
they're referring to the demigods or the other gods.
Yeah.
So they'll use a smaller g because
yeah.
even in the Bible in the Hebrew, the Hebrew Bible they talk about other gods,
Yeah.
but they went with Yahshua or not Yahshua. I'm sorry, Yahuwah is how they went with him and not the other gods. So they have it written that there was other gods on the planet that other people were
And
going to.
because even
They
Jehovah
just picked
says that he
the
is a God,
one.
not the Most High, Supreme God. So
Right.
he could be considered a little g God, but a good God.
Right.
Not
There's more than there's more than there's the God that made everything, the big,
that's what I'm saying. There might be
all the
more to it than
universes,
we
and then
are
there's the
estimating.
the lower ones that came here, that are in our history. You got the demigods, you got this, you got that, or they call it myths,
My great great grandfather Odin
legends.
was a god. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I just know that there is so much confusion in
Little
everything,
g
but they
God.
do it on purpose. Being confused about this stuff, don't ever think that you're stupid. This stuff was done deliberately to confuse the masses, to confuse people. All of it.
Yep.
You could stand there with two men, look exactly alike, and they could both say, I'm Jesus. What do you do? So here it is. There's Jesus on one side, there's Satan on the other. In between them, there's a fence. And they say, which side do you want? Well, if you sit on the fence and you become a smartass and you say, well, I can have both. No, because why? This is Satan's world, and Satan can just look at you and say, and I own the fence.
Preach it, Brenda. Preach it.
So
Can
which
I
way
speak?
Steve? Go ahead.
I want to speak.
Go ahead, Steve. Speak.
All right, Steve, you got
So,
the
like,
floor.
I'm at this point in my life. Like, I was raised Catholic. I went to a Catholic school for 10 years, preschool through 8th grade.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Went to public school, high school, or private college, I guess, but not religious. At this point in my life, I'm really noticing these religions are methods of control over us. And it is a dividing factor in everything that we're doing. And stuff that I've watched from the Archaics YouTube channel, he's diving into that stuff, saying like a lot of the Bible stories are either manufactured or they're borrowed, but they're getting the same message out. And they're like very like key fundamental stories about like choices and decisions we have to make in this life. And everyone gets so caught up about the Jews. The biggest thing right now is all of that. But then we look around and they're controlling the media and everything else. It's unbelievable. And we're not
But
allowed to talk about it either. In some countries, we go to jail for it.
Well, look,
But,
but
who was
but beyond that,
behind JFK's killing? Israel. Who was
okay, I want to
behind
say something.
Epstein and Ghislaine and all them? Israel.
All right, I want to
Hello?
say something so that nobody gets offended. Okay, because
Should I
we
say
live
wrong
in a
title?
world.
Yeah.
and I
Here's the
have one
problem.
more thing to
It's
add
not.
after.
It's not the Jewish people. The Jewish people are they're people like us. You know, they love their families. They love their God. They're fine. It is the Zionists that have taken over and created the Israel.
Evil politicians. We have
Yes,
this in our own country.
another states of government. that's why, Steve, it seems a matter of control.
Well,
Because
it's the top echelon.
yes,
It's a very few amount of people. I live next door to Skokie. It's like it's Jewish Central over there. They have a kosher Jewel Osco. It's like HEB. So like they have it. They have all of these things around here. I see them all the time. They're normal people for the most part.
yeah,
And I'm not saying like to admonish everybody, but like we're at this point where like the religion's dividing everybody. But what I wanted to say
Yes,
after
it is.
that,
You're right.
they
How many different people, Christians, are divided within their own Christianity?
it's like Father Creator um wants to command our wishes as his beings on this realm. So I really think right now that we do have the power to manifest our realities, and we do that through the assistance of Jesus Christ and God Creator Father.
right.
So like with us, we could be telling ourselves like, oh man, like I'm down on myself today, this and that. That's going to manifest going forward. It's going into the next day and the next day. And I'm not practicing that as much as I should, but there's there are a few reels I saw that I was scrolling through, and one of them's like, I have this on repeat every morning. This guy's like playing like a voice message of saying like your account balance is 10,934,682 dollars. And it's like you have to do that every day, and then you'll manifest that. And I'm like, oh wow, that's like such a far-fetched idea. But what if it's true? What if doing that and applying what you want to that and asking Father Creator for that, that eventually it will manifest and things will fall into place.
Well, but see, then right there, the only problem with that, Steve, is that the one thing that God does not like, which is one of the seven sins, which is greed. And with money comes power and greed. So I wouldn't want to be manifesting $9 million in my account. However, I would like to manifest being healthy and happy, you
Yes.
know, that and so people, we all have the ability for self manifestation. Okay, we all have it. We have god-given abilities. Some of us have stronger abilities or different abilities than others. We all have the same, we just use them differently. So we can all manifest our futures, we can manifest our health. We just got to be positive. When you stay positive and in God's graces, you would think that you were capable of everything, but you could even be a homeless man living in a box and say, I am so happy. I love you. I love you, Jesus. Thank you, Father. It's not what you have that defines you. It's who you are, the love you give from your own heart. So I think that's where people get that misunderstanding of manifestation. Oh, I want to drive me a BMW next week. Come on, God, I'm going to manifest this BMW, 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 BMW. And they think that that's what's going to happen. And if it does, guess what? Probably didn't come from our Father.
Brenda,
Yeah.
since we're bringing up about what's going on in, with Palestinian people and Israel and the Mahdi, and I just sent you something that a family in Palestine made for me on the beach, and it looks like the footprints of Jesus on the sand, where it says, and so in Israel a few years ago, this family made this for me,
Right.
and sent it to me. I wanted, and I just sent it to you. If you could show it.
I don't know if anybody, I don't know if people are going to be able to see that or not. Let me see.
One of the most, I don't know if you can see it, but they drew a heart on the beach
Yeah.
of the ocean in Israel, in Gaza. It says in Gaza, Suzy, and then they drew a heart around it, and you can see two footprints. And it was a man, his wife, and their children in Palestine that were being bombed by the Rothschilds. And they did that for me. They wrote my name in the sand in Israel.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah.
Have you heard from them?
Yes, they they were all having to live. They kept fleeing and stuff, and his wife had another baby, another little girl, and they're doing okay. Really cute kids, and they now went back to Gaza to their bombed out house, and they're trying to survive. I mean, it's rubble, but I mean, they're back in Gaza at their home.
Well, I'm glad that they're okay.
They've survived. Yeah, some of their family members have been killed, and a lot of people around them. They spent a lot of time running.
Right.
Running for their life, and they lost a little bit of weight. They kind of got thin. Not eating very well, not sleeping very well, sleeping in tents, and
That's going to be me out in your yard soon. The flooding can't be any worse than what it is here when it rains.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I really love this family. I've been sending them money, helping them for years. And so I've been trying to help them as much as I can. I send them money, and they go out to grocery, they go to the food, and they send me the pictures of all the food they bought, and the kids say thank you, and they throw me kisses, and they've done a lot of videos with me, and I mean, I really feel close to this family. So yeah. It's kind of hard, I think about them all the time, what it's like to have to live like that with no electricity and, sleeping on just whatever you can get your hands on, and you get whatever, I mean, it's kind of, I just can't even imagine having to have a family and to be living under the fear of a bomb dropping on your head any minute, and your children, worried about your children, and you can't let them go out and play anywhere because you're trying to keep them from getting killed, So I just, I worry about them all the time, and I just pray for them all the time.
What is that, Steve?
Oh, that's an 8mm film. It's film.
Yeah, it's a real.
Yeah, this was for developing Kodak film. I had 4 reels for production 2 class.
Oh, okay.
Inside here, there's nothing inside this one.
Oh, why did you make a movie and not tell us?
The tins are awesome.
It's the Immortals.
Oh God! Oh God!
Gosh. I know.
I knew that was coming, though. For some reason, I knew that was coming.
So when I met this family, the husband was in jail for stealing food, and I paid to get him out of jail. And so and I've been helping the family ever since for years. It's like that movie Les Miserables, where he goes to prison for stealing bread, yeah. Yep.
Jason. Oh my gosh. I have a show set up for tomorrow night.
You do? What's tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night, Saturday night.
Haunted houses. You put haunted houses up.
Yeah.
You know what I noticed with that AI picture, Brenda?
What?
there's no way to the front door on the porch.
Well, that's
What?
spooky.
I'm gonna have to look
Walk
at
up
that.
to
I
the
was thinking, how
walk
are
up
you
to the
gonna
house
get
and
into
it
that?
sucks you in. Apparently, I have a list of the thumbnails in my computer, and it doesn't show me which ones they are when I'm picking. So I just go by sight of like numbered of the thumbnails that I have, and I'll just click on it and put it up there.
No, it
And
looks great, especially from like far away. But like looking at it in detail, like, wait a minute. Like I gotta like hop over the railing to get to the front door.
Yep, I can see it. I just went to it. You're right.
I was just thinking, like, how's Brenda gonna get into that house? Is there like a
well, I
back door?
can't anyways. It's up on a high porch with steps. There's no ramp for crying out loud. I ain't going in that house. Come on.
I didn't notice it until you pointed it out. Now I'm going to see it.
Yeah. Now you can't unsee it, huh?
Yeah,
Thanks,
exactly.
Steve. But I would like to go to some of these haunted places and go in, because with as sensitive as I am, you know, I would be okay with that. But most of them, they're run down. Half the time you got to make sure you don't fall through the floor. My wheelchair weighs 160 pounds alone without me in it. So, you know, but and they're high. They have stairs up there. Nobody has ramps. So I could be outside. Now, if the ghosts want to come outside and talk to me, they come outside and talk to me. I'll just be down there going, you know, watching everybody else run. Jason said, and mold. Probably.
Yes, mold. They're dirty.
Yeah.
See, like if we were, or when we go to Gettysburg, I'm not gonna say if, like we have to go.
Yeah.
But like going to the cemetery will be a key thing, and that's very easy for us to navigate.
Yep.
But then we also have these older buildings that are still around from the time of the Civil War. And even there's some hotels where they say that you hear like the footsteps of some soldiers up above, below. Someone has a story they heard some like clicking noise while they were there, and it wasn't until they got back home and they saw somebody playing with a revolver and they were pulling the trigger back, and they're like, that was what I heard in Gettysburg in that hotel. Someone just playing around with their revolver, like they were thinking about stuff. So there's a lot of activity over there.
Oh, I know.
If we have to lift you through places, we'll do it.
I would probably have a blast at Gettysburg. I mean, for real. Because, you know, I mean, I'd be sitting there going, Steve, don't move. The whole army's over there. Don't scare them away. Don't scare them away. Leave them alone. But
and I'm sure we'll see stuff during the day, even though like there used to be like nighttime tours and stuff, but I don't think that happens anymore. But you can go to other places. There's, I think, like the Eisenhower Bridge we should really go check out at night, and that's near the property that President Eisenhower bought. But there's like stories of these older battles taking place with the Indians that were there, the indigenous people. I think it was like the Battle of the Black Crows or something. But Gettysburg, just in general, and I think with like the energy grid and stuff underneath the land, I think that's really drawing a lot of stuff there. Beyond like you look at Gettysburg, an overhead map, and it's like all roads lead into Gettysburg. It's like a big, like a spindle wheel.
Right.
Like all of those armies inevitably were going to end up there.
And we'll be like, what did Andy say? 10 minutes from him?
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to go and invade Andy, and I'm gonna have to tell him to tell Fuzzy Slippers to make us some dinner. We like pizza. Fuzzy Slippers is Andy's mom.
Aww.
But
yeah, Who was saying in the chat that like if we dive into this stuff, it opens ourselves up to attacks, and
Oh,
it
Andy
is
just
true.
messaged me. Hang on. Andy messaged me. Andy, are you listening to the show? Yes, he is. He messaged me laughing. Hi, Andy.
Hey, Andy.
Andy, you gotta get up off your behind a little bit more so you can come back on the show, man. He said
See, I'm
not at
always up
all.
for an adventure. Like it sounds like fun. Like just going there with whoever. Like I mean, even if Sherry and Suzy can come along, like why not?
I'd go.
I don't know if his mom will let us take him to Gettysburg, though.
We'll have to kidnap them.
We'll probably have to just talk them all into coming. We'll say we're going to go to a great place and go eat, so we got to find a restaurant.
Oh yeah,
Caught
right
it
in the town
going.
square. Yeah, it's actually really beautiful in the town square, and they have like cobblestone road there. It's real nice. There was like a sighting of a bear there 2 years ago, and then like a month after I went, and somebody was driving around with a pickup truck with a taxidermy stuffed black bear in the back.
Oh, God.
I got some photographs of it. It was funny though because it was behind us.
No, Jason, you don't see Andy because Andy messaged me on Facebook Messenger. He watches, but he can't get in the chat because he doesn't have a YouTube account. I keep wanting Mike to go over there and help him set up one. I told him it's free and it works like Facebook, where once he signs into it and he leaves it, in his thing, that he doesn't have to like keep remembering passwords and stuff unless something happens. But or he'd be in the chat with everybody too. But he is watching the show and he messages me. Matter of fact, he told me 5 minutes before the show was supposed to end, you got 5 minutes till the show ends. he still does his job even when he ain't here.
He's like the most knowledgeable person that I've heard when it comes to like the fireman stuff that he does. I was like blown away when he was talking about stuff. I was like, dang.
A lot of things. That one night we had a show and we had a guest that was supposed to be here and they didn't show up. So him and Denise came on, and so I had him start looking for old game shows. And we were going through old game shows, like when I was a kid. And he was looking everything up for us and finding them all, and we were going through all the names. He talks when you give him something that he knows about to talk about, or you give him something to do, he knows where to find it and to do it, and he'll tell you about it,
Oh,
So
wow. That doesn't surprise me. After
I just I miss him being able to come on the show and sit with us. But right now, he's got that problem with his leg, so he's trying to let that heal up, and he can only be up for 2 hours, and he has to be down off of it on his side for 2 hours, and so he's been doing that for a while. So we're hoping that that'll get better and he can
quick, yeah.
you just say he's here in spirit. Now he's here watching from this. Every time you hear my computer go bling, it's Andy.
No, I said that he's a wise one. I told him he was because they were talking about ages in the chat. I was like youngins and younger and wise ones.
Yeah, I'm the kid here, right?
Yeah, you're younger. You're young.
So Andy said they had a working tractor trailer fire this morning, and the truck was carrying 35 pallets of Pop-Tarts.
What?
Oh, breakfast?
Oh
Breakfast?
Pop.
Pop-Tarts.
What the hell?
Wonder how many people were out there looking for some barbecued Pop-Tarts.
Oh my
God.
Oh my gosh. I bet that made the air smell kind of good, depending on what flavors there was,
Maybe
strawberry.
now,
Strawberry, raspberry, you know.
Raspberry's good too. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, he just sent me a picture. Ooh. Well, huh. I wonder if all the firemen and everybody got hungry.
Free
Smell all the,
Pop-Tart. Hey,
all of the
they're even toasted.
there's Pop-Tarts all over the place.
Oh my God.
Man, Woo's
Oh
just
my,
trolling all of us here.
Pop-Tart party.
it's a Pop-Tart party. That's right. He said hot and spicy. Oh, they were Cajun flavored. Ew. There's
Ew.
Cajun flavored
Right.
Pop-Tarts.
No.
I never heard of that.
I don't wonder why it was on fire. I just set it on fire too.
I don't like that flavor.
You don't want that.
Those must have been the reject Pop-Tarts. That's what it was.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll just say it's an accident to get rid of them.
Yeah, they were like,
We'll get rid of these nasty things and collect the insurance on them. That's what we'll do.
We'll never make them again.
that's funny.
Oh, he said no, they were Cajun because of the fire.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Okay, so they were probably stale and they just needed the insurance money back on them.
outdated Pop-Tarts.
Outdated Pop-Tarts. That's correct. Oh my goodness. Well, but yeah, so tomorrow night, Sherry, are you going to join me tomorrow night?
Yes. Yes. I'm not
Okay.
injuring myself again, so I'll be okay.
Well, stop that. Yeah,
I know. I didn't plan on it. I just woke up that way.
I'm going to take my night meds and I'm probably going to double something for pain so that maybe I can sleep. Oh, did I tell you guys? Yeah. The other night I went to lay down, right? And I felt like, and once again, I had a Charlie horse in the calf that wasn't there. But this time, instead of it just, me riding out the pain and it going away, oh no. It rose up the leg. I felt it the whole time. It rose up the leg and went into my nub. So I'm laying in the bed and my nub is flipping up and down. And Putin's looking at the covers like, what is that? And I guess he thought the cat was in there because he wanted in the covers. Because he thought the cat was in underneath the covers with us. And he was like, oh no, he wasn't having that. But yeah, so that was excitingly fun. So needless to say, I had to get up, sit up, and wait for it to pass. And boy, I'll tell you, it was rough. I was like, oh, really? Come on. And and I sit there and I'll rock back and forth and I'll, that's all I can do is wait it out. Especially if it's in that calf that's not there, because most of the time when you have a Charlie horse, what do? You automatically reach down and you rub it. You
named that Charlie's horse.
Yeah, Charlie's horse.
Come on.
That's what they call it, Charlie horse.
I know, that's just weird. It's got to be some weird story behind that.
There probably is. I seen one the other night. As a matter of fact, we're going to talk about that tomorrow night about the gingerbread man.
Ooh, cool.
We're going to talk about the gingerbread man.
Oh yeah, that was kind of
yeah, and Suzy and I have talked before about the difference in some of these fairy tales. Like the Muffin Man. They come from real stories. The Muffin Man was a serial killer who used to cut people up and put them in the muffins.
Gross.
Yeah, well, That's why he was so well known. It's a well-known Muffin Man.
Yeah, no.
Oh my God. Do what?
he'll turn you into a little muffin.
Did your headset die? Is that what happened?
Yep.
Oh, put that thing on the charger and leave it there. You don't need it all the time.
On the charger. Okay, let's see if it works. We'll try it again. I'm in charge.
Oh man, I might get a couple minutes
Who
out
wasn't
of it.
alone? Oh,
Yeah.
hey, look, there you go. Ooh, now we can.
Woo, I got it. Hey, I had a swarm of bees show up on my bleachers the other day.
Yeah,
Big old swarm.
tell them what happened.
Yeah, so like all these bees showed up and they were like on this bleacher. So Roger, he knew about it, so he went down the road and talked to a neighbor, and neighbor told him about Mr. Delbert, who's the bee man. So I come back out from the pasture because I was out with the chainsaw cutting trees, and I see this truck, and I'm like, "What's going on?" And so he's getting his bee suit on, and he brought a box out, and he just scooped all the bees in the box, and yeah, and then it was like, okay, so apparently this time of the year bees move around or whatever, and so he put them all in this little house and everything. Then he came this morning. He left him for a couple days. He came this morning and got the bee box, Brenda.
All full
And
of bees.
huh?
All full of bees.
Yeah, they all got in there, and in the morning they're all in there, and so they get, they travel around day and night looking for stuff, but they were all in there. So he took the bees. He said that box will weigh over 100 pounds when it fills up with honey. And I think he's gonna, because we have a fruit orchard over here. I think he's gonna bring some bee boxes, and he'll pay me. He says to keep them over there, and then I get free honey. Ha ha ha. Yeah.
Do they have the
Nice.
queen in them? The queen?
Fresh honey.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I got some friends that do that. I mean, I go get fresh honey from people around here. I'd like to do that, but I don't think my neighbors would like that. Right now, I don't have as big enough property.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, we have almost 300 acres, so we got plenty of room.
I'd do it,
Yeah.
but I just need the room. I like that kind
Right.
of stuff.
Hey, I wouldn't care as long as the bees stay away from me. I'm allergic to them little suckers, and as long as they got a little house to go live in and that's where they stay, I don't care. I give them
Right.
all the room in the world. I don't even try to kill them. I just want them away from me. I will move. Which really sucks because now I can't. Last summer I was sitting in the back on my deck and a bee came in there and I couldn't do anything because I can't get up and get away from them like
Move.
I could before.
Yeah.
So it's like I just had to sit there and wait for it to go away. I was like, oh God, please go away, go away, go away. go somewhere else. Go sit on a flower or something.
Yeah, I'm not allergic to bees or
Oh, I
wasps.
am.
I've been stung by them all.
They close
It
up.
hurt, but
Their stingers close up my throat.
that's not good.
It was really bad. It takes longer
That's
now that I'm
terrible.
older. When I was a little kid, my mom used to have to always have EpiPens for me.
Yep.
Because I was a wild child. I was always outside climbing trees, eating fruit, doing this, doing that. And one day I sat on the grass, Indian style, and something hurt my ankle. I couldn't figure out what it was. And my grandma says, let me see your foot. And I lifted my foot up, and there was a wasp in the grass underneath, and it kept stinging and kept
Oh yeah,
stinging.
they hurt.
Now that
I was
hurts. They
trying-
can sting you a whole bunch.
They
Yeah.
can.
The
I got
time
it back
she
here on my
stood
shoulder
me-
blade before.
By the
I'm
time
like,
she stood me up, I couldn't breathe.
oh no.
So she couldn't take me in the house. She had to yell at somebody to throw her the EpiPen, and then she just stuck me right there in the yard. But yeah, it takes longer now that I'm older. But it still will happen. I keep Benadryl on him. I no longer have the EpiPens. I just keep Benadryl on hand, and if it happens, then I usually will just take a Benadryl right away, drink a bunch of water, lay
Do
down.
a mud pack. Mud pack.
Yeah, that
Mud
takes out
outside
that
put
takes the
on.
pain off. Yeah,
Yeah, that pulls the poison out too.
yeah. We used to do that when I was a kid too.
Baking soda. You put water in baking soda, and it's a poultice. It'll suck out the.
I've had that done too. It didn't work. I went to the mud. I went back to the old Native American.
Yeah, mud's a
ways.
poultice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That happened. I was outside making mud pies.
Anything that draws, dries it and draws it out. Yeah.
Yeah, baking soda never worked for me. I'd cry. I'm like, Mom, it hurts. It's not working. It's just
Right. I can get stung. Like it depends where I get stung, but like it doesn't really bother me. I just like, okay, whatever.
I've stepped on a bee when I was a kid running along, and I've stepped on them a couple of years ago. I got stung out at the hose out here. I was getting ready to go to my dad's birthday party, and I show up, and people are there and like, "How you doing?" I'm like, "I don't know. I just got stung a few times on my foot."
Ah,
And they're just like, "Oh, okay," but. I'm glad I'm not allergic to. I'm sorry that you are, Brenda, because that's not a good thing.
right?
I am.
Yeah.
They have a purpose in this world, and I understand that, and they can live on and do their purpose, as long as they don't do their purpose around me.
As long as they don't sting you. A bee stings you, he loses his stinger and he dies. A wasp, they can sting you as much as they want.
Yeah, bees don't
They're
really
little evil little,
If I get stung
bees
and it
aren't going to
loses
really go after the people unless they're, you're in their environment. Like a wasp, it seems like they want to hunt you.
Wasps are aggressive, yeah.
Yes, they are.
Those red wasps.
oh, those
God.
big red ones we have out here. Oh my gosh, those things are.
You can look at them and they'll get mad at you and come after
Yeah,
you.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
yeah.
Look at them, they're mad.
Mm. Yeah, those things are nasty tempered. Oh my goodness. But
Right?
yeah, I don't, I mean, and the bad thing, if a bee stings me and loses his stinger and it dies, I don't even have enough breath in me to look at it and point and go, ha!
Oh, shoot.
So I just stay away from them, I give them little things, get all the room they need from
But
me.
yeah, she could get bit by a copperhead and go, oh, okay, no big deal.
Well, but here's the thing. When you okay, scorpions too. I've been
Ouch,
stung by
those do hurt
scorpions.
a little bit. Yeah,
Those things, they close my
that
throat.
stings.
Now, when I lived in Arizona, they used to have these things called vinegar roos, and the front of them looked like scorpions. They had the pinchers, and the back of them had a big bulb on it. And when they pinched you and they bit you, the only thing that would happen is you would taste in your mouth, you would taste vinegar for like a week or two.
Ew.
So all I did, because nothing I had tasted good with vinegar except for fish. So I ate catfish for a whole 2 weeks just because that was the only thing I could think about putting vinegar on that I would eat. But and it usually takes a little while for that taste to go away in your mouth. But they're aggressive. They will. When I was working in the nursing home, I opened up this closet to pull out some blankets, and there was one on the door. And when they see you, they pulsate up and down with their legs.
Oh.
And if you move, they jump and they will chase you down a hallway.
I would scream.
Man, I had a scorpion sting me one time, 3 times in my hand before I could get him off. Oh, the only thing that made that stop hurting was I had to put ice on it, freeze it, because it hurt. I couldn't nothing. They said take Benadryl. That didn't do nothing. I went to sleep. I woke up in pain. I'm like, get the ice.
The Benadryl is supposed to be able to help the poison. So, because most people
that's what you do if you get bit by a snake too. The first thing they recommend is Benadryl.
Yeah,
first thing.
The first
keep
thing
it
that
on
it
hand.
does is it settles down that allergic reaction.
Yeah.
So, but them
didn't help me a bit. Yeah,
I just say them little bees.
It hurt.
Look, I was on
Sucker
my way
went ding, 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 and I'm like, 3 times. I'm like, geez.
Oh, man.
I was on my way to work one summer, and our uniforms.
Oh, Brenda.
Yes.
When Joel was little, he picked up a brick and a scorpion stung him, and he goes, Mom, call 911. I'm dying.
I bet he thought he was. They hurt. But I was
like, you're not going to die, Joel. I did call 911 out. They came out and they're like, you're going to be fine.
Right? I was on my way to work, and I had the window rolled down because it's summertime.
Oh, poor kid.
I didn't have any air conditioning in my car, right? And our uniforms were dark. They're dark blue. So I'm on my way to work. I hit the highway. I got my window down so that I can at least get some air. And all of a
Uh-oh.
sudden, I look in my rearview mirror, and in my back seat, in the back window, there is a bee. I pulled over, I hit the side of the road real quick, opened up all my doors, and sat there and was watching it, trying to get it to get out of the car. It wouldn't get out of the car. So I'm sitting there, leaned up against my car, thinking, okay, because I'm not getting in the car and going anywhere with that bee in there. It's not happening. So a cop comes up, and he says, he sees me, he can hear him in uniform, and he looks at me and he said, "You okay?" I said, "Nope, there's a bee in my car and I'm allergic to him and I'm not getting it out." So he looks at me and he starts laughing. So finally he goes into the car and he gets a piece of paper and he starts scooting it. And I'm standing out there going, "Please don't piss it off, because you know what? It's going to come and get me." He goes, "Nah, you're all right." And he's scooping it, and finally it leaves the car. He goes, "All right, now hurry up and get in your car and go where you're going. Close your doors before he gets back in." Like, running around the car, slamming my door shut, get in, roll up the window. I drove
Hey, oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
110 degrees outside. I drove all the way to work with no air on and my windows up. That was not going to happen.
Oh my God. I was going to tell you, I have a similar bee story. When I was in first grade, my dad and my stepmom and my brother and me took a trip from Ohio to California in a VW van bus. Okay. So we were in the back and dad's driving down the road. We were, I think, somewhere out west or something. And a bee flew in the window, right? And I saw the bee and I was going to try to save the bee. So, cause I like try to save the bee. So I got him up and then I went to throw him out the window. And apparently he blew back in.
Oh no.
Okay. And when he blew back in, I didn't realize it, but he crawled down my pants.
Oh no, that's not good.
And he stung me 6 times before I could get my pants off. Little bastard. Okay.
He's like, "Throw me out the window, will you?"
I'll get you back.
You know what? From first grade on, I learned my lesson. Have no mercy on them little bastards.
Don't throw them out the window. They come back and get you. 6 times.
Six times he stung me in the ass. Yeah.
Jason said that he once had a bee's nest that was up in his ceiling, and it had gotten so heavy it broke through. Oh, could you imagine that? Could you imagine your ceiling falling in, all these bees everywhere? I would be moving without anything. I wouldn't even take none of my stuff. I would walk out the door and keep going.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't trust them. I don't trust them now in the vehicle. No. When you told that story, I went, "Oh no, that was not good for me."
Yeah,
I used to deliver bread. We had a bakery, our family did, and I delivered the bread, and it had cinnamon with that sweet frosting on it, and the bees. I take my baseball cap, because I had a baseball cap, and I'm like scooping them because I'm trying to put bread in the back of the truck or the van, and there's bees coming in, and I'm like trying to, drive down the road.
They smell that sweet.
Down, trying to get the bees out. Yeah. No,
or Sherry, what about when you're younger? Do you ever go out at a picnic and you have a Coke and then a bee gets in there and you drink it and the bee stings you in the lip, because he's in the Coke can? Yeah.
No, I didn't. I don't drink. I really never really was much of a pop drinker. But my friend when she was living in Jacksonville, Florida, she was talking about the fire ants. Watch out for the fire ants.
Oh yeah, they're up here.
And I'm like, I go, yeah, right. As we're walking across the parking lot, and I'm getting chewed up, and then we were at the pool, and she knows better, and she had her pop with a straw. She goes to take a drink, and she starts screaming. She had a fire ant hanging
biting
off the end of her tongue. Get it off! Get it off!
Oh,
and I'm like,
God.
That's a you problem, not mine.
Yeah, fire ants are nasty too.
Oh,
yeah, they'll.
She knows better, but she's warning me because my sandals and her whole cup. I mean, there was so many ants in there. You don't do that.
Oh my God, that would hurt. Yeah.
I had somebody tell me one time. I was like, okay, and Suzy and I talked about this before. So the 3 things in life on this planet that I think they do not have a place here is ticks, fleas, and mosquitoes, and they're all vampires. They all suck
Yes.
your blood.
They're all vampires. Yeah.
Somebody told me, well, you need to have fleas and ticks because that's what the possums eat. I'm like, dude,
They can
eat
find
them.
new dinner.
But you know what? I have seen possums eat freaking cat food. That's what they can have.
Hey, they can have blackberries or something,
I'm like,
nuts or
they don't need to be here. Those are 3 things in the world's population that I think need to be extinct. Okay.
Yeah.
Period.
Yes. The ticks
They're
are bad
I
up
heard-
here already. They got people. My grandson couldn't even go out on the playground at the daycare because they had ticks really bad, waiting for them to come already though, because it's unusual for us in April. It's
When
like,
I was
where
out
the heck all the ticks come from? Or May.
When I was at Suzy's, I heard her say, she comes in the bedroom, right? She's like, ow. She goes, Brenda, what is that? And I looked and I said, oh, that's a tick. She goes, oh, get the thing off me.
I already picked
throws
one
it on the dresser and starts hitting it with something.
I see one on a puppy.
The ticks,
Dave. It's
Yeah,
like,
the ticks were weaponized.
I just
yes.
Huh?
The ticks
Yeah.
were weaponized.
Yes.
yeah.
Lyme disease
bought-
was introduced into them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't doubt
Yeah, and I
that.
just bought 3 bags of dimetry earth or whatever, dimetry earth. So I'm going to put it out everywhere.
Yeah. I was waiting to get some too. I've been seeing
I
it.
just, I'm going to put it out around the house, the barn, everywhere.
I got a 50-pound
fixing
bag of that. Food
Yeah,
grade.
I just bought, yeah,
The
food grade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I bought. They were like $27 a bag. I got 3 of them. So I'm fixing to hit it with the little fertilizer thing, and I'm going to go out there. I got it at the feed store. It's a little cheaper at the feed store. So, and I'm going to get out there and get them. After it's been raining, off and on, but I'm going to put that stuff out and get them.
Y'all know how when a dog has a dream, they run in their sleep?
They bark and
Well, Putin's whining and hopping in his sleep.
right? He's
He's
chasing
not
something.
running. He's acting like a rabbit.
Going, oop, oop,
But
making
he's-
noises. Yeah,
He's dead asleep.
that's cute. My dogs do it all the time. Yeah.
Tucker will sit there and he'll cry in his sleep and woofle, and it'll wake Putin up, and Putin will run over to him and sit there and smell him like, are you okay? Takes his paw and hits his butt, and he wakes him up. Wakes him up from his bad dreams.
Aw.
But all right,
Man, we've been on here a long time, Brenda.
yes,
We
it
have,
is time for us to go,
and I know you're tired.
Yeah, I'm gonna set the
Alarm.
no, the download and stuff, and just let it run while I'm laying down because I'm not waiting
Okay.
for it to finish. Normally, I wait for it to finish to make sure it finishes okay, and yeah, not tonight. Tonight's not happening. I'm very, very heavy-eyed. Very heavy-eyed. I was like, should I do makeup tonight? And I'm like, I'm so tired. I probably would have poked myself in the eye with a eyeliner or something.
Be painted on sideways, huh?
Yeah, I had mascara running up the side of my head or something. I was like, you know what? No, I don't care.
Right? Oh, Lord.
I just don't care. Not today. Hopefully, I'll get some decent sleep tonight, and tomorrow I'll be able to take my normal nap and then get up. I'll get up early in the morning, and then I'll take my normal nap tomorrow, and then I'll be able to get up and get a shower and do my face and get dressed and feel better.
There you go.
As long as it doesn't rain some more and I'm not shoveling water out of my house with a wet vac. And then the landlord sent me.
If they didn't give you an apartment, they gave you a houseboat.
Yes, they did. And I do not have any kind of beautiful ocean to look at. Let me just tell you.
That's
They didn't give you
terrible.
a paddle, did they? Didn't come
No.
with a paddle?
No. I need to borrow Susie's canoe and her paddle.
Yeah.
That way, when it floods, I can get from where I'm at around the house to the bathroom. I'll just kind of
That's
paddle
for
my
sure.
way. And Stu's got a movie.
Ooh,
What is
nice.
that? Is
I
that
saw
movie?
this in theaters, by the way. It's really
What
good.
is it?
310 to Yuma with Christian Bale and Russell Crowe.
I thought he was holding up a movie that set up Schitt's Creek without a paddle. I was going to say, yeah, that's me. That's me. That would be me.
Here you go, Brenda.
Andy keeps telling me I need pontoons for my wheelchair.
Oh yeah, that would be a great idea.
I told them today when I talked to my insurance company, I'm like, and I have had this chair for 5 years. I need a different one. I need the one where I can go outside, run over potholes and everything else, and not tip over. I need the one with the mid-wheel
You need
drive.
one that's
with
waterproof.
tire.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right, dog. Well, no, I'll never find one waterproof because what they don't want you to get wet is the controller. If the controller gets wet, it'll short out the whole chair. So the last time, if we go somewhere and we're afraid, we don't know if it's going to rain or not, we usually take a plastic bag with us, like a Walmart bag, and then I put it over the controller and I tie it so the controller itself doesn't get wet. But if it's pouring down rain, it's going to get wet regardless. So I don't go out in the pouring rain. If it's just a little bit that might sneak up on us before we get home, then that's different, you know. So, but yeah. So I told him I need one where I can actually go outside, go through the grass, not tip over in a hole or get stuck on grass. So Susie's horses stop laughing at me. So the dogs are like, "Come on, Brenda, what are you doing? I'm stuck in a hole, guys. Come push me out."
Oh God. Need bigger tires on that wheelchair.
I do.
All-terrain tires. Yeah.
I'd like to get those. Have you seen those chairs? They got the tracks on them, kind of like
Oh, I've seen those.
and they
Like
go
a skidster?
upstairs.
Yeah.
They go upstairs.
That's cool.
They just take you up and down stairs, and I'm like, ooh.
They got some off-roading ones too. I've seen some because I had another friend that was in a chair. So we'd gone through years ago of different styles. And so I was like, wow, check that out.
Yeah, well, they need to lower the price on this because, you're talking $14,000 for those things. I'm like, who pays that? I mean,
somebody who has $14,000 to spend on a chair.
That's true.
Not most
rich people that use their legs. Us poor folk, we're screwed. I'm surprised they didn't give me two 2x4s and some watermelons and say, "Here, have at it."
Damn. Be like the Flintstones.
Yeah. And they don't take, when they give me my new chair, they don't take this one. So I thought, these things are expensive. They're like $4,000 when you get them. So I thought what I would do with it would be I would just take it, put it on eBay for a couple $100.
No, you need to. No, you're not going to give it away. You need to sell it at a decent price because you need that money. So
yeah, but I mean,
okay, but sell it at a good price for them, but a good price for you too. We got to be fair. Yeah,
I mean, there are people that don't have insurance that do have to pay cash for these things, and some people they spend a lot of time
and there's somebody that I know named Brenda that could use that money a little bit herself as well. So Brenda, sell it for what's fair for you and the person too.
This is what I'll do. I'll get with Steve. I'll take pictures of it. We'll put it up on his eBay thing. That way he can help determine how much we should sell it for.
Okay, so that's good.
I'll negotiate with Steve. We'll get it put up on his store, and
Yeah.
Yeah, but once it's established, it'll get more views that way.
Yeah. Right. That's what I'm saying. Can we put me on eBay and see if I get some views? Oh, I can't say that. Woo's in the chat.
I think that's
look at what Woo did. So Woo
prison
doing. Yeah, Woo found out about that other show that I go and mod for, and he went over there and jumps in the chat and says, "Brenda, have you been cheating on me?" Everybody's in there going, "Brenda, who's that?" Never, Woo. I would never do that to you. I had to laugh. It was so funny. they moved times around over there, all over the place, man. So now at noon, I'm on the test at noon, 11 o'clock our time, and then the other one is they split up the boys, so the other one does an Aussie show at midnight. But they know, I told them on Friday and Saturdays, don't look for me. If I pop in, I pop in. If I don't, I don't, because I have my shows and I'm not, if I can't sleep, I'll pop in. But other than that, I'm just over it. I've just been looking up a lot of stuff and studying stuff and, you know, trying to find some answers. I think that's what we all want. We all want to study and research to try to find the right answers.
There you go.
And one day we might get them. And until then, I guess I will continue eating air popped popcorn and trying to see what happens. Yeah. That's all we can do. So, all right, guys.
There you go.
Yeah. So we're gonna get out of here. We'll see y'all tomorrow, 9 o'clock.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
You guys have a good night. Woo, stay out of trouble. And we will see you tomorrow night, guys. And like always, please be kind to one another. Have a good night.
Good night.